All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Hello, there we go. Got the mute off. Carlos, doing great. A little dark and stormy here today. Storm hasn't started, but it's supposed to have thunder showers this afternoon. So good day for trading then. Not missing anything outside.
Yeah, same here. It's cloudy for the next couple of days today as well. So it's been just rain, and I like pouring rain. It's been just a drizzle and a lot of clouds, so not too bad. But yeah, friends, let's get to it. Hopefully, you're doing well wherever you are. Here's our gappers list this morning, brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. You can always head over there and see what's going on. And man, what a list on both sides today, green and red. Just a lot happening here. And you can see here some tickers up pretty big here, 76, 63, 42, and some stuff down a lot. I think this is all energy. I heard the energy issue going on there, 36, 30, 21. Yeah, energy's not having a good day today. We'll get into all of that this morning. All right, before we do so, take a look at U.S. economic calendar and what is scheduled for today.
Craggy Rider posted this picture. I don't know if it's real, but if it was real, it's very amusing to me. This woman getting pummeled by a stop sign. I don't know why I find that so funny. All right. Anyways, a whole bunch of like little stuff today on the economic calendar. No major announcements. We just had the couple things come out. The import price index number came out at 0.0%. Here, let's see if I can get these things updated for you on the screen. Came out at 0 when the expectation was a little bit of contraction. And let's see, what else have I got? The core U.S. retail sales came out. Let's see where we got. Core is negative 0.3. Oh, retail sales down a lot, 0.9%. So people aren't buying as much stuff, I guess. Industrial production, capacity utilization, business inventories all come out later this morning. Again, none of those tend to be big market activities. Nowadays, last couple weeks, you never quite know what's going to move the market. So we'll have to see. I mean, we've got some global events happening right now. The G7 summit, that's big news here in Canada because we're hosting it. And there was an interesting press conference yesterday at the end of it with some summary, and our Prime Minister and President Trump were, of course, both being asked questions, being a host country, and of course, everybody is interested in Trump's comments. And then Trump actually left the G7 early, saying that he had to deal with issues with Israel, which obviously, well, it's more than, I was going to say tensions are escalating, but it's a lot more than that. I mean, they've literally been trading missiles and attacks here for a couple of days now. So, yeah, things are not going well in the Middle East. And tensions are rising. So, lots of stuff going on out in the world. Who knows how that's going to affect the market? So far, it's been relatively low, I would say, in terms of the impact. The U.S. market just keeps sort of churning away here, but I got to believe that, at some point the market's going to sort of start paying attention. So we'll see what happens. And, Raf, to your question, retail sales, and sort of joking, saying there are still stores. I wonder if they do. When you've got U.S. retail sales nowadays, do they include online purchases? It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Because you'd think that, retail now would have to, would sort of need to include that. Do you think?
I
Is that
think
considered
100%.
retail,
Yeah,
or is it
you
some other
have to
category?
include that. I,
Yeah, I don't
I
know
think you
anymore.
have to. With Amazon, you have to include retail.
Yeah,
Because
like
I
I
don't think
would think so.
I don't think retail means like brick and mortar. I think it just means consumers buying stuff
Right,
that most likely they don't need. So yeah.
right, and that's what I would think. The definition of it that they've got here from the U.S. Census Bureau is a little vague on that. It just says sales at the retail level. So you're right. I mean, it would be a retail sale even if you sold it online. Anyways, I
Right.
wonder if they do track it. Who knows? But a good question, actually. Anyways, all right. So there you go. Anyways, economic calendar said bunch of stuff, pretty light. let's focus on what's moving, because we do have a lot of stuff, interestingly, in the gap up and gap down list. So, yeah, let's focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. A lot on this gappers list this morning. As you can see here, just a whole lot going on. So we'll try to get through this list and hopefully find a better starting list than what we did yesterday. Yesterday's starting list was not good. We had a great trading day, but the starting list was not good. Let's take a look at a VERV. Is the first one on deck. And this morning, as I look through this one, let's take a look here. What do we have? This is Verve Therapeutics, and they got a big gap up from last night, looks like, after hours, late in the trading hours, and just has maintained that gap up. 7.4 million shares traded. I almost want to say it looks like a buy. It's a lot of volume for the way it's moving in the pre-market. But Peter, what's the latest and greatest?
Well, go with your gut on that, Carlos, because they are subject to a buyout. Eli Lilly, one of the big pharmaceutical companies out there, said they're going to buy this gene editing company for a total of about 1.3 billion. So interestingly, the price it's overshot the target price, which I find interesting. Their bid said basically brings it in at a $10.50. Sorry, it's $10.50 per share plus a $3 per share contingent value right. So basically, as long as Verve shows that their gene editing successfully treats at least one patient, then they get an extra $3. So that's interesting. So they've got a deal basically at $13.50, and you can see Verve has come up and is sitting below that price right now. So a little bit of an interesting mix on that. Normally, it's just you buy them or you don't. Here they've got a big contingency amount on the success of one of their treatments. So probably not going to be good trading from here on in. Usually the buyouts come up, they hit a level, and they just sit there.
Yeah, don't like this one for that reason. So let's take a look at the next one here. It's going to be CERO. So if I look at CERO this morning, we have a gap up of 57%, 7.9 million shares traded. So again, tons of volume. Hard to borrow on this one. The flow is under a million. So I probably won't be watching this stock. Looks messy in the pre-market as well. That does not look great. So that 7.4 just been bouncing back and forth. Again, just not a whole lot of action here. So for the most part, for me, I won't be watching this one, Peter. But again, up 58%. Another therapeutics company doing well this morning as far as capping up.
Yeah, they had some announcements. So this is another biotech, Cero Therapeutics. They spell their company name with like capital CER and then a small O. I don't know what that means. But anyways, Cero Therapeutics Holdings. They got FDA orphan drug designation to their CER 1236 for the treatment of leukemia. Acute myeloid leukemia. So good news for them. I don't know what orphan drug designation means, to be honest, but apparently that's a good thing because they're popping up.
All right, good for them here. I don't think they'll be great. Really a good intraday trading ticker. We'll move on to the next one. NTLA is it's Therapeutics World today. World release of news, I guess. But here's another one. Intellia Therapeutics again, just messy. 13% up this morning. 373,000. Yeah, it's just this is
their Monday list.
Did they oversleep yesterday and just say, hey, we'll just do everything on Tuesday? Do they call each other up? Can they spread these garbage stocks throughout the week? Make it a little bit easier on the eyes. I don't know. But NTLA, another garbage ticker here that most likely I won't be trading. Peter, what's your thoughts on it?
Phase 1 drug trial in this case, positive results. This is a 3-year phase 1 trial from Intellia Therapeutics, this NTLA. Yeah, like you said, I don't know, not the type of stuff we typically trade. But if you like the low floats, you got a good selection this morning. So, and they're not alone. There's more. I mean, this is not technically a low float, but I think it's probably going to trade like one.
Yeah, and the volume, it's really not there. Only 375,000. Like for a low flow, you want to see really great volume. That type of volume could create a very wide spread. So just be very careful if you're not getting some nice movement there. All right, heading back to our gappers list. Here is PCT. So PCT this morning. Let's take a look at what's going on here. These guys are up. Pure Cycle Technologies, they're up 11.6 here, 347,000 shares traded. And given all the tickers we have seen with therapeutics and stuff like that, is Pure Cycle like blood cycling, like cycle the blood out of your system? Sounds like it. But they're up here, Peter. 11.6, 347,000 shares traded. I don't even know what to tell you. It won't be on my list, but go ahead.
No. This actually, Pure Cycle Technologies, they are apparently in the pollution and treatment controls systems. So I just see that they're raising money. They've announced that they are doing a $300 million capital raise. Normally, that's not a good thing for the stock, and it gaps down. So surprised to see that it's gapping up on this news. Have we ever seen? I don't remember ever seeing this on our
No,
list.
because
So.
we would have definitely said, "Hey, look at our PCT group being public." We
Yeah.
would have definitely brought that up. So we haven't said that yet.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
But
this.
anyways, so they've got a press conference scheduled for right about now to talk about this capital raise and their expansion plans. So there you go.
All right. So far, guys, no cigar off the Scappers list. Let's keep on going. We'll find something, I promise you. APPS is next on here. So APPS, what did I do here? Here it goes. APPS, there we go. Up 8%. Digital Turbine, up 8% this morning. 462,000 shares traded. And as you can see here, it doesn't look good. I think this one we have seen in the past. Oh, yeah, we definitely have. If not, now you could tell either in February, and we had another opportunity to see this on the list in May when it was gapping up this much. Normally doesn't trade very well. I don't see great volume. Even the pre-market looks a little bit scattered. So even though you have 463,000, I don't see this being a great opportunity. Again, we'll find something. So we'll skip on this one, and we'll see where things go here.
They had earnings. That's the only reason they're here. Revenue of 119.2 million, earnings per share of 10 cents. Doesn't look like many people care. It's not trading with volume. So,
yep, not good at all.
No.
All right, let's continue. This is Digital Turbine. Well, any update on what happened on those planes? Yeah, on that plane. Peter, have you heard anything? I haven't looked at news.
No.
It's been news is depressing, so I don't look at news as much as I used to. Like in the evening, how people sit down in the evening and look at news, like at 8 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. I don't do that. Do you do that, Peter? You sit down and look at the news in the evening?
In the evening? No.
Yeah, like the evening news
from
the main channels. You don't do that? Okay. Who still does that in chat? Do you guys do that? Sit down in front of the TV and watch the evening news, or just get everything from the phones?
I even try not to look at the news on my phone at night because I figure I do it all day, all morning. Nighttime's time to think about non-important things. So
okay, there we go. So nope, I quit doing that years ago. It says Graggy writer. Nope, stay away from all the news. Everything, evening news, is that a thing? Dave, that's a good point. No news. Nope. Neither Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune. Oh, man. See, those were some good shows there. All right, so people are not doing that anymore. Okay, so it's not a thing. The channels, the news broadcaster wanted to be a thing, but it's not a thing. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the next one. OSCR. OSCR this morning, we are up 7.2 right now, 648,000 shares traded, and I don't see anything really happening. Again, wow, what a gap up list, friends. Oscar Health, again, more into the health therapeutics tickers here. Peter, another one that's just, yeah.
I don't know. They got a downgrade. Other than that, I'm not sure. Are they gapping up this morning? OSCR?
Looks so bad, I can't even tell they're gapping up or down, but they are gapping up. Yes, they're up 7.2.
They're gapping up, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they're gapping up. I really don't know, and frankly, I don't really care.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right,
Not
friends. So far we have gone through maybe half of this list. Everything up here, again, pretty much garbage and stuff that we most likely won't trade. If you're new to the channel, you're wondering what the heck, I had one or two of these on my main list. Just watch them for the entire day, and if it works for your strategy, go for it. But for the most part, if you want to get an idea of why we feel that way, most likely these are going to trade very bad. It's a lot on here. There's about 7 or so that we're not going to put on the list. Take a look at them today if you have the space, so you can see what we're talking about. It's hard to explain, but they're just not ideal for the type of trading that we do. Here's OKLO. On the other hand, this one can trade very well. Price action was a little bit weird yesterday, but then it did get going pretty nice. But here it is. It is up 5.1, 869,000 shares traded, and I think that was because of the way the spread was. The spread was a little bit wider than what I would have liked right in the morning. So it was trading weird, but it did take off, give you a nice little pop, then it came back down here again. So it was very active as far as volume. We'll see if today this can keep going. Pre-market action looks pretty good today, Peter. I don't think there's anything new on this today, just continuation from this beautiful daily they got going.
Well, I mean, they do have a little bit of business news that I guess they've got a subsidiary called Atomic Alchemy, and love the name, by the way, Atomic Alchemy. Anyways, they're working on a site in Idaho for starting doing the analysis of this site. In agreement with the Idaho government, the state government, I guess, to provide a facility. So look, they're starting to make this real that they are doing soil and test samples to make sure that they could establish a advanced radioisotope production site. So that's it's I mean, it shows that they're serious about doing this. Frankly, I don't know all that goes into creating a new nuclear energy plant, but apparently you need a radioisotope site, whatever that means. So
Yeah, it sounds about right. And that thing goes in the middle of the other thing, and it kind of helps to keep it cool. Yeah, I'm fully aware what you're saying here, there, Peter.
okay, then you know more than I do.
No, I'm completely kidding, man. I have no clue whatsoever.
Okay.
Let's go to Reddick. Reddick is next on the gappers list here. And as you can see, this again, Reddick can trade very well off the daily, but intraday volume it's very light. It's very light, so I typically not don't end up watching. I do like this ticker. I mean, if you look at the daily, I like what they've done here since the IPO. I mean, all the way up to 237, back down to 87, and now back up to 131. So, swing traders, if you're watching this one and you're able to take some opportunities, you can do very very well. Intraday is a different story, Peter, but maybe today there could be something happening here. I do like the way this daily setting up for a possible, a break above this area of resistance, which it has done in the pre-market already, but maybe we can get going. What's your thoughts on it? Are we going to get the volume? Normally, volume is very light. You got a couple of days where it jumps up here, but for the most part, the volume is not really there.
Yeah, well, it's sort of interesting. Reddit did have an announcement that they unveiled yesterday their AI powered ad features. So what's interesting about this is basically it'll be interactive ads where the ad will talk to you and you can talk back to it either in text or by voice and interact with the ad, in case you've got questions or want to know more, or and it'll tailor it a little bit for what it's viewed in your profile as to what you've been looking at and watching. So remember it makes me think of there was a movie, I can't remember what it was. I think it was an early movie with Scarlett Johansson where they were clones, just for people providing spare body parts, but they didn't know that. But when they walked by the ads, it would like talk right at them, say, "Hey, Peter, do you want to buy some new shoes? Looks, we got your size in stock." The Island, is that what it was? Is that the one? Did they actually have the talking ads in that, or am I like mixing up movies? Yeah, there you go. Anyways, made a vague memory of that. So Minority Report had that as well. So yeah, I mean, I know it's not a new concept, but it's interesting that they're taking these movie concepts and they're saying, yeah, we can make that real. Why not? So this is one of the ways in which AI may change your life. So for good or for ill, you be the judge, but just be polite to the robots for when they take over. They might save you. So
100%. Please and thank yous goes a long way.
yeah.
Survive.
They
All right.
say something like
Yeah.
it just saying thank you in Chat GPT apparently costs them something like, I can't remember what the number was, $13 million a year or something. So
I
they're not
heard
telling
of
you
that.
not to, but they say every time you say thank you, it's got to process you're welcome, and that costs them money. I'm like,
Yeah. I heard something like that.
yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. All right, let's take a look. All right, so Reddick, I like the stock. I really do like to trade it. I'll put it on my second. Not trade. I haven't traded it much, but I do like to watch it. I think it can trade very well if it just gets more volume. So RDDT will go on my secondary list. It is up 4.1 this morning. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Let's see if we can do something good here. So gonna just add it. Where's my banner? We got all kinds of browsers open here. Here we go. My banner. We'll put in here. We'll put in RDDT. Excellent. All right, nothing great so far. And we got our friend in chat, Dillian is asking, what do you mean by crappy stocks? What's a good stock? What's a bad stock? And we probably don't have the time to go through everything on it. A lot of it too is, you build up this experience over time of watching tickers like these low flow stocks don't get a whole lot of volume, that the daily looks very very light as far as volume, that don't day trade very well. This is a bio, so we can't look at this one because this we know for a fact it's not going to trade very well given a bio. But let me give you some examples. Since we've been looking at nothing but garbage, we should know what garbage means. Take a look at this ticker here. If you look at the 5-minute RB, you see how choppy this is and how we're just moving back and forth between a couple of bucks. We have tons of volume. 8.1 million shares traded is what I'm showing here. See that? 8.1 million shares traded, so tons of volume. But that volume is not really giving you a good movement. Typically, and this is not factual, this is just stuff that we see over and over again, so you kind of build a theory on it. Typically, stocks that do this do not trade very well. And I hate seeing stocks that do not have inventory for short. See that hard to borrow there? I hate that because you're limiting me on shorting this thing back down to 0, where it's probably going to end up by the end of the day. Guarantee you it's going to end up at 7 some point. Nothing's guaranteed, but there's a very high likelihood this stuff is the top of this is going to be 17. I think it's already done, right? From here's downhill. You're not able to short it with interactive brokers. And if you're able to short this thing, because I had a broker before, I used to use a Centerpoint back in the days, and they allow you to locate shorts. Interactive brokers doesn't allow you to do that. So Centerpoint, you can click on a file with DAX Trader Pro, and you'll be able to locate short inventory. The cost to locate a couple of shares for this year will be like almost $200, $300. Just your cost for them to get you shares to short this stock. Now, I admit, sometimes I did it because I knew it was garbage and was going to 0. I'll pay the $300 and I will easily make $1,500 because it was just a given that this is going to go to 0. And in some cases, you just can't find inventory at all because it's just so garbage. So I don't like stocks like this, right? And you're going to be watching them more often, and then you're going to start to see, when it looks like that, this is something that I there's a higher likelihood it's going to trade this way, and I don't want to be part of that. So that's the reason. That's the reason for it. You missed a garbage truck. We have it right here for you. There it is.
Oh, look at that. We have not seen that in a while.
Yeah, garbage truck is right there. But yeah, so that's what we mean by stuff that doesn't normally look good. And again, this just doesn't look good, right? At the market open, it will change. We'll probably get more value. But take a look at this. Keep this one in deck today. In fact, I will. I'll put it on my main list for research and development today. Here we go. Research and development. CERO. So we can go back to it and just take a look on how that thing is trading. We'll put R&D here. All right, there we go. All right, so hopefully that makes sense, right? Peter, anything to add to that?
Not to what you just said, no.
Yep, you got something else going on?
Weird.
Oh.
Yeah, my platform's acting weird. For whatever reason, I can't get details on PLTR. Just PLTR. I can get every other stock, but not PLTR. That's weird.
Ooh, here it is. Can I get
PLTR? Okay. Anyways,
PLTR.
Gap up. Well, I was looking at that because I'm looking at what do I like on the gap up list that we haven't talked about. PLTR is one of them. It's gapping up this morning. Hit all-time high yesterday. Good day for PLTR. Good move off of the open. So, it's one that has made our permanent, or at least my semi-permanent list, right? Because it just tends to move well. So, a big move on the open. Wasn't that great of a trader for the rest of the day, but not bad. What did trade well throughout the day yesterday were the semis. AMD and NVIDIA. AMD especially had just a runner of a day. just moving up. It's like 9%. And then held those gains for the afternoon. So that was a good stock. And it's gapping again this morning, up 2% already this morning. So on good volume. So yeah, AMD looks like it's in play.
They have a chip
Um,
that's out, right, Peter? They have a
Nothing
new.
new, really. I mean, there was some new feedback on their MI350 chip, and they're talking about the future release of their MI400 and 500 series chips. So, which are the AI, their high-end Radon sort of enabled chips. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's there just seemed to be a little bit of enthusiasm and optimism for them yesterday. I'm not quite sure exactly what drove it yesterday, because it wasn't specific news that I saw really that would warrant it, but they were up, so people took advantage, and that's good. Nvidia also, like I said, had a decently good day, although it sold off a little bit more in the afternoon compared to AMD, which really held pretty much all of its gains. The other sector that I noticed there was a couple things moving is in the automotive, the EV sector. We've got Neo, XPEV, and Lucid that were all up early this morning for slightly different reasons. XPEV did have a press release that they are adding AI-enabled features into Volkswagen cars in China. So Volkswagen needs to compete with the very advanced vehicles that the Chinese market has been producing. And if you remember, they signed a partnership agreement with XPEV and are allowing XPEV to do their manufacturing in China specifically, and then potentially expand it elsewhere. So the fact that they're adding, I don't know exactly what AI features they're putting into the car, but they just said that they're adding AI functionality into the Volkswagen fleet in that market. So maybe that'll expand to other markets. Who knows? Other than that, Carlos, I mean, we got random things. CRCL, I noticed on our gap up list. It's just continued to do well. Yesterday, it had an okay move off the open. Not easy trading, though, in my opinion. I think it was a little tough. But it's still moving higher. This is good. We haven't had a lot of sort of nice moving IPOs, so it's nice to see that, as it's
Yeah.
now into day 9, I guess, since it opened. Yeah, day 9 here.
Yep.
So it's in play. I'll give it credit for that. It's got the volume and continues to move. Although it looks like the move, the range of the move is contracting a little bit. So buyer beware
Yep.
on that. But it's still in play. And then we already talked about OKLO. It's also one that continues to be in play. It's had a little bit of business development news, but those are all the ones that I'm just typically keeping an eye on. So.
Yeah, this is in reference to the gap up, friends. So look at the gap down now in a second. It's a lot of energy stocks leading the way there. But I do like OKLO. I'm going to add that one to the list. You did mention POTR as well, so that will definitely go on here also. CRCL, I am going to add that to my secondary list. I know it trades well. Typically, not my stock, but this can be good. I know a couple of you guys over on YouTube did trade this. Sam, I know you took a beautiful trade on this thing, caught the top of it, so I'm sure you'll be watching it again today, and we'll see where it goes. I love the daily on it. Pre-market action, it's got some volume, 1.7 million shares traded. We'll see where this goes here. Someone asking me what I think about PCT. Why not PCT? Yeah, PCT, light volume. 381,000 shares traded right now. It's not great. So I expect this to not trade at the market open. I expect it to look something just like it did yesterday. I think it's going to do this exact same thing. And if you've never seen a stock trade 57,000 shares, let me show you here. If you've never seen a stock trade 57,000 shares per 5 minute, it is the most brutal thing there is. I mean, it is really, really bad price action. Yeah, it is. It looks great now. Like, oh, look, I could have took it here long and it got out here. You could have, but what is the strategy? And you got to see this price action is so sloppy. I'll show you the 1 minute too. At that, the 1 minute is probably even worse. Look at this. Look at this. What are you gonna do here, Peter? How are you gonna take a mountain pass off of this? You're gonna take a look at the gaps in here. It literally just stops and stalls and waits. Momentum traders have a really tough time with stuff like this, right? Now, if you're a trader, we say, hey, I like 1150, 55 to get out at 15. That's a whole different story. That's a different style of trading. But momentum traders will they'll fall asleep on something like this, right? So you got to be careful. In play today, it does have some news. I believe someone mentioned it has some news. Who mentioned that? Someone mentioned it has some news. So it is in play, but it all depends what type of play you're looking to make here. And I think you're going to see more of that today as well. All right, let's go to the gap down, friends. Gap down list this morning. Again, energy. I think everything on here. I'm not sure about these two, but the first four are all energy, taking a big hit as Democrats. I think they're removing some stuff from some bills on energy.
Yeah.
Don't know the details. Is RDW energy? I'm not sure about these two. I'll look these up, Peter, but fill us in on what's going on with the energy bill here.
RDW. No, I don't think so. That's an aerospace company.
Ah,
Um, Anyways, yeah. So let's talk energy. Yeah, this is all related to the fact that this so-called big beautiful bill is still running its way through the Senate, and the Senate announced a number of changes that they'd look to implement for the bill to potentially be approved. What they didn't change was all of the cuts to the solar and wind incentives. They basically are taking them all out, phasing everything out by 2028. And that obviously is not good news for the entire industry. So if you're a solar or wind energy company, yeah, you're not having a fun day because basically your stock is down and your prospects are looking bleak under the current administration. So I have to see what happens. This big beautiful bill that this bill still has a ways to go, I think, before approval. But who knows what's going to happen? The fact that they made a whole bunch of changes and didn't touch those provisions, you can imagine, has got the industry concerned.
yeah. Normally, the stocks do not trade very well. I know Sunrun is one of the most popular ones. That's Run, RUN. And they're looking good this morning. So you could tell here the most popular one looks actually pretty nice as far as the drop you're getting here. On SSR, of course, given how much it has dropped so far today, I might watch this one. I think out of all of them, I want to watch at least one. I think Run might be the best one, but there's a couple on here that you could select. FSLR, we actually have traded in the past as well. So FSLR also could be another good one. First Solar here taking a nice dive of 21%. I mean, yeah, that's pretty aggressive. So I'm gonna put FSLR on my secondary list. I actually might like it better. I like higher price stocks, but Run's pre-market action looks really good. Even at $5 here, $6, it looks really good as far as pre-market. So I like that there. FSLR could be a little bit choppy with the spread, so you got to be careful. I see it jumping around here in the pre-market, almost $1 at times. So very, very careful with that. It's probably going to get better at the market open, but just look at that spread before you jump in the stock. You don't want to get caught with a nasty surprise. All right, so back to our gappers list again. All top tickers run by energy right now. We got some therapeutics company here. I was looking at these up. DYN. DYN is a therapeutics company. Again, doesn't look pretty good here. Looks very light on volume. Not sure what the news, Peter, is, but going from 15 down to 11, 13, down 20% today. So big drop for them this morning. Very light volume, friends. And the flow is not low. It's 85 million. So it's not a low flow stock. They just don't get a lot of activity, looks like.
Yeah, well, earlier this morning they announced that they were granted FDA breakthrough therapy designation for DYNE 101 and their updated plan for the accelerated approval of their of their drug release. So I mean that sounds like good news to me, but there must be something buried in there that people don't like because it is, like you said, down instead of up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Let's
sure
take
what
a
to do.
look at it. Yeah. I'm not sure how that's going to help us out there. Another one I'm moving today is Red Wire Corporation. This is
Yeah.
down 18.3, Peter. So interesting pre-market activity. Daily seems okay, not great. What's your thoughts on it?
Look, I mean, you can. So I'll tell you what's happening. You could probably tell me the price of the offering. So it's a secondary offering. They're issuing another 15.5 million shares to raise capital, and they're offering it at. Can you guess the price? Probably right. Just $16.75, basically right at the price. So these things often move right to the price of wherever the secondary is. So it's great that they want to raise capital, but it has a dilutive effect on your stock. So again, doesn't create tradable opportunities, unfortunately.
Yep. What was the ticker yesterday? Had a 31-1 forward split. Someone was asking me because it went from they were asking why does this stock go from 600 to was it 600? I forgot the price. $48 or something. RGC. Yeah, that's what it was. And it looked weird
Oh
when we
yeah.
looked at it yesterday because I guess the charts had not finished refreshing given that it was a Monday, so it acts weird. But now it looks a little bit better. You can see it now. It's not going from 600 to 40, I think it was. So it didn't really drop that much as it was showing as far as percentages, but you got to give it a day after the forward split for it to look a little bit better, right? So here it is, looking a lot better now. But this stock yesterday was just still, even within the split, I think people were maybe confused. I don't know. But 25 to 85, today 70 to 100, nothing has changed in this stock. The value hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. So this thing is all just retail traders having fun, I'm assuming, because it just doesn't make no sense for it to be moving like this. But be careful. It did get halted tons of times, right? Was it yesterday, the day before yesterday? It got halted a
Oh,
bunch.
yesterday, yeah.
So again, it
Yeah.
was very. Oh, yeah, here it is. Look at that mess, and that's a 5 minutes. So the 1 minute you can see a little bit cleaner. But that's oh, sorry, here it is. But that's what it was. It was a four split of 38-1 that caused that price difference on the charts. But now you can see it's corrected. All right, heading back to our gappers list, man. Our primary list, it's it's struggling, Peter. We'll get some stuff. We'll get some stuff here. All right, I do see Quantum QUBT on here this morning, which again had a good day yesterday. Did break out pretty nice. QUBT is probably one of the better ones, I think, out of all of them. At least my favorite. So I'll add that to the list. So we'll put QUBT on here. QUBT. And then what else we have? I think that's about it. I don't like the Bitcoin stuff. That really hasn't been trading well for me as far as intraday. So I'm going to continue to keep those off until we start seeing some really great action on it. We'll bring those back. Yes, I do want to have AMD actually, Ben. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for reminding me. I will add it to the list here. Peter, what do you like as far as gapping down this morning that we haven't covered yet?
Well, you mentioned QUBT. Interesting to me that it's gapping down. They had some, what I think is fascinating news, that they have shipped their very first commercial entangled photon source communication network device. Now it's being sent to a research facility and in South Korea. But it's sort of a milestone that they're actually shipping a device for use. Now, again, I don't quite know how it works, but I've read a lot of sci-fi, and the quantum entangled communication was always what they used to joke in sci-fi. Well, joke that they would use in sci-fi when they had to do like interstellar communication. So you got instantaneous communication, no matter how far away, how many light years away you were. So, is that how it works? That would be awesome, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny because they, in their press release, they talk about this. They use all the cool terms, right? The quantum entangled communication, that it's built on spontaneous parametric down conversion, which sounds cool, using a periodically poled bulk format lithium niobate structure. I have no idea what I just said, but it sounds cool. But then they go on to say, and it operates on the C-band telecommunication range and compatible with current fiber optic infrastructure, which in my mind just negates everything they said. If you're building quantum entangled something, I don't want it to be compatible with anything. It's got to be so far advanced that it won't talk to any of your old crap. Anyways, oh well, whatever. So they ship something. So maybe it's down because remember we keep saying the problem is once they start making it real, people are going to expect real results and products out of it. So no revenue. But anyways, but to me that sounds cool that they shipped an actual device, even if it's just for testing.
Yeah, that is wild.
Aside from
else?
that, sorry, I got all excited about quantum stuff. Aside from that, look, we got to stick with the regulars. Tesla was a horrible stock to trade yesterday. I'm hoping that it's going to be a better day today, but yeah, it was fugly. It was just, it was horrible. So, so that was bad, but I mean, and a lot of the stuff, frankly, that we normally watch wasn't good. Like Apple, also not that good. That being said, Amazon
Hey,
and
one
Meta
second,
actually had
Peter.
some.
Looking at, I want to just go back to Tesla. You are not kidding, man. This is the
Yeah,
worst I've seen. It's
it
pretty
was
bad.
ugly yesterday.
Oh man, I have not looked at Tesla like this, but yeah, this is wow. Okay. And what's the other
Yeah.
one you had?
Yeah, it's rare that you see it trapped in that much of a range, just back and forth in the wicks, and yeah, like it was just not a pretty stock yesterday. So, uh, in any event, there. Oh man,
We
garbage
had to do
trucks,
it. We
Tesla.
had to do it for Tesla. I know we don't see that
Made a
often, but
favor.
today
Okay.
we did.
All right. Okay. There you go. All right. Well, maybe today will be better. Well, look, we got our other stuff, right? We still have the PLTR on that. But as I was saying, anyways, Amazon and Meta, not bad, actually. Amazon had a surprisingly sort of decent move yesterday. Which it normally, doesn't normally move quite so nicely. I said Meta wasn't directional as much, but it had some good moves up and down if you're able to catch them. So yeah, there's a few things. We'll watch the usuals. I still semis are still my favorite right now, with AMD and Nvidia top of my list for this morning. But Carlos, it's another sort of quiet day. Like there's really not a lot that I would see awesome. I mean, I do think we need to watch the solar stocks. Sort of pick your favorite one. You can trade any one of them. There's a whole lot to pick from. Basically, anybody that's in solar or wind not having a good day, and if you're publicly traded this morning, so yeah, might want to watch those at the open.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Run and FSLR on my list. Both of them very active, and they seem like they want to go lower. Like you look at this pre-market, and it seems like the weakness is just there. All right, friends, OKLO, POTR, Run, QBT, and AMD, and of course, I will add Tesla. How can we not? Nvidia, how's Nvidia been, Peter? I mean, AMD seems to be taking the reins here at the moment, at least.
Uh, sorry, Nvidia had some decent, I thought, trading opportunities yesterday. It wasn't as good as AMD. AMD was just, if you just went long and held on for the ride, you were just so happy because it was such a simple trade yesterday. But it was always simple in hindsight. I didn't catch it. I wasn't on the long ride. I did try and short it a couple of times, and it clearly told me, "Nah, not ready for that." And I actually got out with just making a couple of bucks, but yeah, it was not ready for a big reversal. So yeah, we'll see what happens today. I mean, said AMD is probably the biggest mover in the semi space. It's up about 2% compared to everything else, which is only up 0.5% to maybe one. And AMD actually has the high. Oh no, it doesn't. I was going to say has the highest volume this morning, but Nvidia has its usual 5 million shares or so. It
Yeah,
trades a
yes,
lot.
hard to beat Nvidia on the volume. They trade so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have them on my secondary list. And yeah, here's my list so far, friends. Did we cover T-Mobile? Let's take a look. That's T, right? Or is T AT&T? No, T's AT&T. What's T-Mobile? T-Mus. T-Mus? Yes, it is. Um,
Yeah.
it looks like they have some news because they're actually moving today with some volume. Looks like typically these telecommunications company, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they're not great intraday trading stocks. They'll make their move like either gapping up or down, and then the rest of the day it's just kind of go flat. Retail tickers do the same thing too. Like if you look at Macy's, they just kind of they do their move. Foot Locker, same thing, and they just go flat. Whoa, what happened to Foot Locker? What is going on? Oh, they got bought out, right? Didn't somebody buy
Yeah.
them out?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. I forgot who bought them out. But was it Nike? No, it wasn't Nike.
No, it was what the Dick's Sporting
Dick's
Goods, wasn't
Sporting
it?
Goods. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Dick's Sporting Goods. That's right. It's a good move for them, I think. Get rid of the competition a little bit there. But yeah, there you go. So they're not tradable anymore. But yeah, retail tickers, a telecommunications company, they're really tough traders. They have to have big news. Rumors of a merger, rumors of a buyout, big news. I mean, we'll definitely
I
get them
mean,
moving. But
they had
they're
some
tough.
news that SoftBank, which had a big stake in them, sold about 4.8 billion in T-Mobile shares. They said they needed money to buy AI. They want more AI, and they said, T-Mobile's not really performing that well, so they got out of a big part of their stake. So that I mean, that's going to be a little bit of a drag, but Carlos, I still don't know that that's going to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you would
don't think
think
that's
there'll be
going
a
to create
bigger
it.
reaction to something like that. Sounds like a massive negative catalyst, but this thing is just like, oh, well, it's just down 4.1. That's it. We're not
Yeah.
going nowhere else from here. Tells you that that didn't do much. Ben, yes, I did see the announcement. I hear a lot more than what I see. Of DJT, right? DJT is doing some Trump mobile phones. I heard about that, so I'm not
I
sure the
saw
details
something
on
really
it.
briefly, but I didn't get any
Yeah,
details that there was a Trump mobile that they were.
yeah, they're looking to come out with a Trump mobile phone. Of course,
My goodness.
they're gonna have one in gold. I'm sure they gotta have their gold edition. I mean, it is
Yeah,
Trump.
that's right.
Right?
Hey,
You
yeah,
gotta have a
you
gold
gotta have a
edition.
gold phone. Oh, look at that,
Yeah. Is
Trump
this
mobile.
like encrypted in
It's,
crypto or something? Like it's gotta make it good. Gotta make it good. But yeah, I heard of it on the radio. I don't know the details about it, so we'll see. Is DJT gonna be running that? DJT? Let's see. They're going
no
down,
idea.
so I don't think. Maybe not. Not sure. Well, it is Trump Media and Technology, so I would think these would be the guys running the phone business as well. So who knows?
Sure. I mean, they're selling all sorts of other stuff. Why not? Why
Yeah,
not mobile plans?
absolutely. All right, friends, let's get to it. Let's look at our webinar here. You can head over to bearboottraders.com, click on webinars at the top. You can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. As we scroll down here and look at our beautiful Tuesday, our strategy day, Peter will let you know what's happening for today.
Yes, indeed. And strategy, we have a number of sessions starting at 11 a.m. with Phil, who's going to talk about small account options. Then at noon, Nathan takes over with his boot camp session. By the way, got some special guests coming into some of these sessions this week. So stuff to pay attention to. Nathan's been hosting a couple of special guests, so worth joining. If you weren't already planning to, jump into the webinar room if you're an elite member, and you can take advantage of those two. And then tonight, oh, wait a second. Maybe it's not tonight. Is it today? Because Avi's doing it. Avi's doing today's webinar, it looks like. Fantastic. So it's early scheduled time. Hopefully, maybe Mike's out there. He can confirm that. All right. So we got two things happening at noon, it looks like. Wait a second. How are we doing that? Because these are both in the webinar room. Nathan's at 1. Oh, I see. Nathan got bumped. All right, guys. So the website's not updated. All right, so let's get to this right. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad that you're here. So we got 11 with Phil. At noon, we're doing our what is normally the evening strategy webinar a little early. Alvy's going to talk about using fractal patterns and how to build your trading strategy. So that'll be our noon webinar, our scheduled webinar, which will be recorded. And then we've got our Bookmap session, which is normally at noon. That's been pushed to 1. So we got 3 hours of education and entertainment for you. So 11, 12, and 1 for those 3 sessions. So yeah, hopefully you'll join us if you're an elite member in the webinar room. You can take advantage of that. Of course, we'll obviously be trading live in the chat room as well. So lots of things happening today. Going to be a busy Tuesday here. So if you want to join us and take advantage of those, it's not too late. You can still watch those if you want to join as an elite member. Just go to bearbulletraders.com and you can join using, well, our lead options. If you just wanted to join using the intro, well, you can't go to those webinars, but you could get access to the chat room, and that'll give you 1 week access using that intro offer. We do have it on sale. If you go to our YouTube or if you're there right now, we'll let you know how you can get that intro offer for only $19, 1 week access for that, and it gives you access to our chat room and the onboarding class, which you missed for this week, but don't worry. Even if you joined right now, you can take advantage of that next Monday when that session sets up. So there you go. That's what we've got. By the way, I've been mentioning it a couple of times. It's worth mentioning again. The other thing you can take advantage of is our funded account, which is a great deal. Really, you're trading in a simulator, but Andrew will pay you if you actually successfully complete that course of study and end up profitable at the end of it. So you can actually not only pay for the cost of the simulator, but make money on top of it. He has issued $15,000 checks to people, or $10,000, depends what they earned. He pays that out. So because we really want to demonstrate that trading is viable and you can do it. So check that out. Go to bearbulltraders.com/funded account, and you can get that information, or you can get it through our dashboard. You can see the two different options here. And really, it could be a fantastic deal. If maybe you don't have the cash to fund your own account, you can do it this way. And maybe this can provide the seed funding for your own account down the road. So I will tell you, not everybody makes money at it, right? Because you've got to successfully complete the program, but everybody gets value from it one way or the other, because you definitely learn a lot. And sometimes it's good to learn with other people's money, right? This gives you that opportunity to do so. So check it out. If you have questions, we're happily answer them. I did have a couple of email questions the other day. You can email any one of us. It's basically our first name at bearbulltraders.com. And we'll be happy to help. So Peter at bearbulltraders.com, or Andrew at bearbulltraders.com, or Carlos, or whomever you want to reach out to, we'll happily answer your question to the best of our ability. So, all right, with that, let's set some levels, and I'll let you know what our moderators are watching, and we will be going to live trading.
Yep, absolutely, friends. Big drop on AMD out of nowhere here.
Big red candle here, yeah.
What happened? 125, and what's some new stuff looks like. Let's get some levels in place here. We'll start with AMD since we have it up this morning. Low of the pre-market is just being created here at 125.06. That was a $3 drop from almost 128.75, 3 plus actually, almost 4. High of the pre-market on AMD, which has a very active pre-market, getting even more active this morning. 128. I actually see 129.74 is the high of the pre-market, is what I'm looking at. Towards the bottom, you have plenty of stuff here, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. I am going to mark down this area here that might be missed by some of those levels. 121.32 might actually be 122, might actually be the whole dollar. You can see some areas there where you do have some support and resistance happening there. Move back. Let's take a look on where we are as far as above our pre-market level here. We're going to mark down 131.18, and then right up here, big level right over at 135.83. That'll be a stretch. We need a lot of power to get going all the way up there. Let's continue with QUBT. QUBT this morning, high of the pre-market 20.99, so 20.99 for QUBT. The low right now being set at 19.94. And we'll see if that can hold it. We're seeing a little bit of weakness as we're pulling back from yesterday's nice big run there that took us all the way to almost 22. 1905 is another great level here. Well, not great, not a major level, but definitely want to mark it down. You could see some of the action there happening. So 1905 does have some support from these other days as well. Towards the top, if we were to move higher, we have 22.12, and then obviously all the way up here at 27.12. It's another big level for QUBT. Sun Run, again, I don't really have high hopes for this one, but we'll be ready. High of the pre-market 737. The low is 557. And then if we look to the left, look how bad this is a really bad daily chart for me. Like, there's not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of volume, but they got big news today. Let's see what we can get out of it. 628 off the daily here, and another great level here at 680. A lot of touches there on the daily charts. And then we haven't been down here. Wow, is this the all-time low? All-time low. There's no, is it? Oh, we got to go really back. Oh no, yeah, back 2018. All right, so it's not all-time low, but definitely 52-week low. We do got another level at 516. We'll mark that there. I know it's hard to see off your screens, but we got a level there as well for Sunrun. 2 more to go here, then we'll hand it off to Andrew and friends. POTR here is going to be high of the pre-market over at 43.04, so we'll slam that there. The low is going to be at 140.87. That's your highs and lows. And then if you look at this daily, you're just kind of stuck between the highs and lows from yesterday's trading day, so don't really have to add too much. I'll leave it just like this. We'll see if there's any breakout out of this range that we are kind of trading within this morning. Take a look at OKLO today. Again, OKLO's got a very interesting daily. Goes flat for a little bit. It has a very big day. Has a couple of mild days, and then yesterday was not bad, not the best day we've seen, but not bad as far as activity. And today we still got great volume, 1.1 million shares traded. This is worth watching. Price action is a little funky. It's not bad, but it is a little jittery, I want to say, when it's moving. So just be careful with your risk management. 65.84 is the low of the pre-market. 69.54 is the high, and once you do that, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, given the range, the up and down that we've been getting on this stock here. So I don't think we really need to add anything. We'll leave it just as is, and we'll be ready to go for this one. All right, Peter, we are all set. I'm just going to check if okay, we might have time to go over what our team is watching.
Yeah, we're really close to the open here, so like I'll go quickly. Lenny's got the master list, so we'll start there. AMD, Reddit, Nvidia, OKLO, Tesla, PLTR, and then some of the solar stocks with FSLR run and end phase. So most of us are watching some combination of that. Mike's just keeping it tight with Nvidia and AMD. Gary's got Reddit, OKLO, Tesla, and MSTR. I've got sort of my usual list. We'll see. I'll watch the solar stocks as well. And then I don't see Andrew's list in here yet, so he'll get that in there as he's trading live for everybody this morning. You can check out the rest of our moderators in the chat room. And Carlos, yeah, let's get ourselves ready here. I got to switch my platform over, get ready for this open. We'll see what happens. There's been a lot of good trading after the open, so don't feel rushed here that you've got to trade right as the opening bell rings. Wait for things to set up, and if they don't, then they don't. So. Yeah. Where is Andrew? Why is Andrew?
We've done a lot of waiting lately, which actually has worked out.
Yeah,
we haven't been taking.
It's a good plan.
At the open. Yeah, except you taking some trades lately right at the open. Last week I had a couple, so that was nice. Been taking some.
Yeah.
Some shots. So
I mean, you know what? When the opportunity presented, you're right. I did, but I've been trying, conscious of not trying to force it too much. I had a couple of good trades on Nvidia that really served me well, but not in the last 2 days. So
yes.
I just saw a message from Avi. I must have missed it earlier that he is not doing his webinar today. So we don't have that 11 o'clock webinar with Avi. So really that leaves you with the structured webinar at 12 and then Nathan at 1. So 12 and 1 for everybody. Be aware for everybody in the chat room. Here we go. Andrew's joining. He's getting ready to go live. We can now, we'll do the whole YouTube switch over here.
All right. Let's do that. All right, friends.
Oh, last minute.
All right, 1 minute to the market open. Let me.
Yeah, I gotta get ready here.
All right, let's get the charts ready.
All right, get these over. The headphones. All right.
Awesome. Let's do this.
Let's see. What am I going to put over here? I'm going to put run.
5 minutes.
Oops. ENPH.
So what's the deal with AMD? Anybody check that out and what's happened there? Or it's just transactions being posted? Anybody look it up in our chat?
Oh, there's the opening bell.
All right.
Opening bell. I didn't see anything, Carlos, myself. Okay. I just so I assume it was just somebody front running the action. All right, let's see what we get here on run. A little bit of pop up. Wow, this thing's down 39% already. That's not good.
Oh, here it is. Run is pushing higher. Wow. Nice pop. PLTR. OKLO.
To the end of this minute here. All right. Let's see what we can get here. I have gone short. Taking a partial.
That's a great trade. Yeah. Look at the ask on that thing. It's going to drop. I'm sorry, the bids. Tons of bids. 570.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I saw the ask basically disappear, and the bids. I don't like how long it's hanging out here. I'm taking another partial. That didn't give me as much as I was hoping on that. I jumped up right before I got that partial off.
Yeah, I don't think it's done. I think maybe retest the low 555 again. I have a level here. What level is this? 550. That's low of the pre-market, yeah.
I see a bunch of orders
yeah,
down
yeah,
here.
it's
So
going.
this is, there
There
we
it
go.
is.
There we
There
go.
it is, Peter.
Okay, taking a little more off. I should put it up here. We don't
Nice,
have.
nice, nice, nice.
So this is
Nice.
this was like a sort of a textbook mountain pass for me. Let me share a screen for you guys. Here it
Wait,
is.
Mayan Pass? No, Rising Devil or Mayan Pass? Is it Mayan
Sorry,
Pass?
Rising Devil. You're right.
Rising Devil. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy thinking about my
No, no.
trade here,
You're
and
focused
that's
on the trade. Yeah. Focus on the trade. That's more important.
yeah.
I'll bring you up now.
So, so I think I'm going to take a little more off here because we are at the low. So
Yeah,
there you go.
it's gonna.
I got another
Oh man,
partial.
if you look at the bids, it just keep getting lower and lower, and they're heavy, man. It might be another leg down here. Come on.
So you can see where my entry was in the first minute. I just waited. It hit the $6, and I got in as quick as I could once I saw it start to falter. So yeah, I was in the first minute, which is I don't normally go that early, but I figured if it was going to drop, it was going to drop quick. My stop was just above the peak of that candle there, so right around 611, as you can see. So I got about a well, it turns out that I got about a 15-cent stop loss. So that's why I was able to take partials, so relatively early.
Yep.
And
so ECAM, yeah. So FSLR did exactly the same move as Run, and yeah, you might look at the price difference of $3, but look how cleaner Run is as far as price action and volume, right? It's much easier to trade. So what you want to do is just take more shares. If you want to risk more, you could just take more shares if you want to do that. But they're doing the same move. Run is just a lot cleaner, I think.
It depends what you're watching. Like if you look at end phase, Carlos, if you bring up end phase there on the screen, you can see that it actually had a cleaner move. The problem is it didn't give you much of a pullback, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
It made it tougher. It made it tougher to judge when to take in. All right, so we're down at 550 here. I'm still holding on here, waiting for this partial. Oh my God, this is awesome.
This is a great trade, man. This is really
back
good
on
for
the
you,
trade
man.
here.
Nice.
Any sign of a pullback, I'm getting right there. I'm going to take that partial just in case it pops up, which it's now doing a little bit.
Yeah,
so there we go.
Speaking of taking trades at the open, my man.
Hey, there you go.
Look at that. All right, so far, how you guys doing?
I can only take them when my strategy hits, and this just, it was a good setup. So
good setup,
probability,
great catalyst, at least to the downside.
Yeah.
We are down 40%. Just keep in mind, be careful chasing this thing. Peter got a great entry. We are down 40%. We're extended. That's a big drop. So don't chase it into the short unless you have a strategy, because 40% down is a lot. This thing could swing across, the other way any minute if you don't get a good entry. So
Guy, I assume you're a relatively new trader, because and don't be afraid to ask questions, Guy. This is the stuff we all need to learn as we're getting into this. So you're asking about partials. I assume that what I'm saying is not necessarily making sense. Let me show you. Let me throw the trade back up on the screen here, Carlos. Maybe we can show them what it looks like. So there's a number of ways to trade. The way I typically trade, and let's make these a little bit easier for you to see. So just here, increase the triangle size we'll make it like absurdly large. There we go. So essentially what I did is I got in with what I consider to be a full size, which means I took a big share size, and I'm taking part of the share size off. So for argument's sake, let's say I took 2,000 shares. I'm only taking a couple hundred shares off each time, so that I'm basically putting some of the money in the bank, but it still leaves me shares that I can use to take advantage of further moves. Because I don't know how far this is going to move, especially at the open. I tend to partial more and faster, because this could have, like when it got down to this level, right? If you look here, this is the level that it consolidated pre-market for about 5 minutes right before the open. So it could very well have bounced and gone up and stopped me out. So that's why I took a couple of partials. And then when it got to the low that it had set a little bit earlier, I took more money off, right? So, I'm taking money off where I think there are levels at which this thing could bounce and reverse course. If it doesn't give me that signal, if it doesn't do anything wrong, then just hang on and we'll wait and see. So right now, you notice I took a partial, pretty much what is currently the low. and it was below 550 would be considered a whole number, I think, because this is such a low dollar. It's only a $5 stock right now, right? I mean, it was a $10 stock yesterday, but so I'm waiting. If it goes lower, then I'll take more off, right? So and that's what whenever I say partial, I'm taking part of my size off. It works the exact same way if I was long. If I was long, then I would just be selling, part of my shares. So in this case, because I'm short, by the way, I'm basically buying shares back, right? So again, if the long and short concept is something as a new trader that doesn't make sense, don't worry. I really struggled with that when I first started trading. Now I'm a short bias trader. I will short probably 80% of my trades are short. It's just what I'm more comfortable with. Don't know why. It's what I like. So
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff.
So just hanging in here right now. The way this is consolidating, it feels likely that I might actually get stopped out. This thing could very well bounce. That being said, I do keep an eye on the level 2. So let's show that since I'm on the screen here. I'll put run. You can see the level 2. So the black that I've got just shows me where there's larger order size. Anything over 5,000 shares, it shows me that. Look at how much there is stacked to the downside. So it looks like there's still room for this thing to drop, because there's a lot more black on the bid side, right, which would be the lower prices, than there is on the ask side. So it feels like this thing could drop, and it feels like it's reasonable that it could drop to around $5.30. It seems to thin out a little bit below $5.30. There is 100,000 shares sitting at 505, but yeah, I wouldn't be counting on much more than that. But I don't like the way it's just hanging out here. So I think what I might do is, take a little bit more off right there. So you can see I just took another partial, right? I took some more shares off, capitalize or solidify, if you will, some of the gains in case it bounces back. I got money in the bank.
So awesome trade, man. Awesome trade. Perfect entry too. Perfect entry.
Let me actually share this with Andrew. So actually, I didn't turn him on. I didn't. I don't know what's going on in the chat room. I'll put the sound on over there.
Yeah, he's got an AMD trade going right now, which looks really good. Just above the VWAP here, setting up nicely for a possible breakout. Here would be the confirmation candle. Here's what I will get in on this confirmation candle. But I don't like the leading up to the VWAP on AMD, so I'm probably gonna skip this one. There'll be other opportunities here. POTR was a great short, guys. I missed it. So yeah, great short, pushes down, comes back to the VWAP, and then that pullback, that's usually my entry right around 140.87, and we just missed it, man. I wasn't paying attention to it. But that would have been a good spot to short there, and it gave you all the way down to 139.60. So that was good. That was good. There's Peter. Peter, in his Canadian, is that Canada red, Peter, or is that a little too bright for Canada red? Is that Canada red you have on? We can't hear you, but we can see you. A little brighter than Canada red.
This is from a charity cycle, CN cycle for CHIO, which is a children's hospital. So
nice.
That's all it is.
Cool.
I went to a spinning class this morning and then playing tennis. So I had a busy morning. So out doing stuff.
Nice, man. Nice. Good. Run is gonna go lower, man. Let's see. Wants to break down, I think.
I hope so. Yeah, maybe I should have added instead of taking a partial. Maybe I still should.
AMD moving up. I should have taken that trade. I called it, but I wasn't too confident. Andrew's long on this one, taking partials already. Partialing out some more.
Yep. He needs to make back his initial loss, but yeah, he's in a good trade now.
Yep, great trade. Should make that pretty easy now. There, so good job. Guys, if you want to see Andrew trade live alongside Brian, which is on vacay right now, he's on a nice cruise, but he'll be back in a couple of days. Head over to bearwoodtraders.com and you can join. We actually got a deal for you. We got a $19 deal. Here's the link. There we go. $19 gets you in for, let me just check. I think it's a week. Get you in for a week.
I think we established it is a week. Yeah.
It is a week, but you know how it is, Peter. I have to go double, triple check because I might come back here and see something that's different. But no, it is. It is.
Right.
Uh, it doesn't say how long, actually. Oh, here it is. 1 week. I'm looking for a number, but it's spelled out. 1 week. So 1 week access, which is actually pretty good, guys. Really good stuff. And you have tons of material, and you get the chat room, which is this is where you want to be. You want to have the chat room. You want to get in there and see what's happening with the team. So definitely check that out. OKLO. OKLO. Let's see. Oh man, OKLO's another one that was good. Reddit. We talked about Reddit being in play today, and yes, it is. Man, beautiful, beautiful trade on Reddit today. Look at that move. It's it's $11 move. That is insane. Insane. Yeah, AMD trades is trading well. AMD, I agree. Andrew had an awesome trade on AMD. AMD's just crushing it, man. It really is. Let's compare it to Nvidia. Nvidia's not doing so well.
Oh, look at that. Jared shorted OKLO. He's got a good short on that Mountain Pass type trade.
Beautiful.
Or sorry, Mountain Pass. I keep saying that this morning. What's wrong with me?
Rising Devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Show you guys. Here's Jared's trade on OKLO. Really nice. Got some other ones here. I haven't taken any trades yet. Here, same thing. Short there. That looks like a 5-minute ORB. Very nice. I know it's a good trade of the 5-minute ORB. SR trades. Long, partial. Got out long again. Partial. This was this Reddit. Oh, he took Reddit. Oh man. That was a really nice trade on Reddit. All right. I hope
Reddit, eh?
I hope that
wow.
Jerry's still in on this short, and so I hope they're both still in on this short because this is it's looking really nice on OKLO. If you woke up this morning, right, and the first thing you did was look at just the headlines, the top 5 headlines, you would think the market will be down about 3%. I mean, that is what you will have guessed immediately. And market is pretty much flat. Like this market barely moves given some of the headlines you're seeing. So very resilient right now. But I think some of these stocks are starting to feel the weight of all these bad headlines for the most part. GTR should be going up. That's a defense contract company. Run coming back a little bit on you. Melanie, what is your thoughts on Boeing and the Air India? Because I know Melanie watches BA.
Horrible.
What happened?
It's horrible. Oh, no, I just tried to add to my trade, and I got filled a lot lower.
Oh, you got filled pretty bad?
It's on SSR, so it took me a while to get filled. So.
Oh, okay.
I should have canceled the order and re-entered it, but
sucks.
Anyway. Well, so we'll see.
We'll see.
It moves unfortunately my new average to just below the VWAP, which is not where I was hoping to be, just above it. But let's see what happens. I need to get a new low of day.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
If you get a new low, it's not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
BA is going green. So BA doing some stuff here. AMD bouncing off a VWAP. AMD. I waited 3 days after the drop. Makes me feel dirty making money over people dying. Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's always a fine line, right? But we're traders, you know. It's different. It's different, right? Like, I mean, are you gonna you think about the 9/11 stuff, right? And not the actual billions show, but the actual people that actually did trade the news. Like there was a firm that actually made tons of money off of this. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stay in your position long on American Airlines if you see that? You know? I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, look,
You know.
I figure, especially in what we do, right? When we're retail traders, we are inconsequential to the market. What matters is what you do with the proceeds. If you can make money off of news, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad news. In my opinion, it matters what you do with the results of that. So, you know
Yeah.
what? Don't ever feel bad about that, right? It's a free market. It's what it does. You got to take advantage of opportunities. You know, probably better in your hands if you're listening to me than the hands of Wall Street, right, or some other rich person. So
Agreed.
exactly.
Agreed. Man says you gotta emotionally block the news. Yeah, you do. Just when it's sensitive stuff like that, you just gotta block it. All right, QBT
Yeah,
bouncing
we
back.
are.
Run going a little bit against you. Hopefully, can stay below these moving averages.
Yeah, hopefully.
PLTR.
I did try again. Every time I add, it seems like I get stopped out, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the stock is pretty low here, so down 40%. It's
Yeah, eventually it's gotta. Not gotta, but you are gonna see some kind of support and buyer stepping in. It might still go lower, but there will be a little bit of support maybe happening.
mhm. I mean, what could be interesting is if the support fails, this thing could drop fast. So I'll just keep an eye on it and see what it does. EMD's looking choppy after all the excitement yesterday. It's not really going anywhere. Yeah, Amazon's having another decent move. I mean, it's slow, but Amazon always sort of moves slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Reddit look slowed down here now. Wow, Oklo bounced back pretty hard just on that one candle.
Yeah, zero halted. So zero stop trading there. Jiao, yeah, see that. Up 107%. So we'll see. Hard to borrow. First halt is okay. It's the other ones that get a little bit scary. So be careful.
Mm,
AMD. I am not feeling anything. It's the same feeling I had yesterday too. Like just not feeling anything. Thankfully, Nvidia came to the rescue, but man, I'm not.
no,
It's just weird. Usually, I take trades by this point.
trust trust those
Trust the
instincts.
process. Trust the process. Um, Reddit. What a great move, man, on this stock. So I like the way the stock is on the daily, the way it's been moving. And then I didn't have it on my primary list. I should have kept it on my primary list. Would have been nice. Apple is weak as usual. We have not traded Apple or even had it on our main list, or at least my main list, in a very long time. Like Apple
Yeah.
is falling off the usual suspect list. POTR has replaced it for sure. For sure, POTR is a much better intraday trading stock lately. It's not gonna stay like that forever, but lately it's been really nice to trade. So just going through my list here, friends, seeing what other opportunities are available. Everything that's near or at the VWAP, I don't like as much. FS Solar is trying to break above the VWAP. Here's your kind of breakthrough candles, pullback. Here's the confirmation. I might have missed my entry already on this just by looking at it. 142 would have been great. Oh man, yeah, this 142 would have been awesome. We're 80 cents behind here if we get into this trade. It's gone. That's not coming back. But that's our trade. And remember the breakout on the VWAP, I will consider these three candles that breakout, right? So there's a multiple of candles. Sometimes it does it in one nice clean one, but sometimes a couple pull back on the two candles, and here's the confirmation. Kind of like an ABCD pattern. Sometimes does not like an ABCD pattern, but let's see if we can get the continuation. But I'm not gonna chase it here. Let's take a look at Tesla. What we think about Tesla? Another one that hasn't been all that great. Nice drop here, nice recovery. I don't have a tray for Tesla unless it gets to the VWAP and we have our setup show up there. So we gotta wait for that. And it's hard to take this drop here. Like it's very difficult because if you look at the stock, look at what you had to work with before that. It is all just chopped. So to predict that this is dropping here and go short, is not the easiest thing to do because you just expect more of this to take place, right? So not an easy trade to catch. If you caught that, great. But not the easiest trade on Tesla there.
All right. Well, I just got stopped out of run on the rest
Okay.
of my shares with that. The ad moved my average down to the VWAP, and it's moving higher now. So okay, no worries. Thought I'd try
Yeah.
add in for more glory, but
FSLR did end up working out, man. 145. I mean, that's all you need. If we were in at 142, 145, that is a beautiful thing. If you get 146, you complete that 123, 104 easily. Let's see if we can make it happen. Struggling a little bit here. Spreads about 50 to 40 cents. Not great, but not horrible. Ben says, you gave Run a good run. So, yes, Peter did.
but yes, I did.
Right? Usame, Usam. Is it Usame or Usam? Which one is it? Usame or Usam? I want to pronounce your name correctly. But Apple has not been trading well at all. Yeah, I haven't traded in a long time. Same here. Same here. Yeah, I've been taking hits on Apple. They've been losing. They're about to lose my interest. They'll come back. They'll come back. Oh Sam. Oh Sam. Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. 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 AMD back up. Is Andrew back in? Yes, he is. Yes, back in AMD. Off of that retest of 129.74. That's a pre-market high level that we had. So pre-market high level for AMD. Let's see if we can break through that again. That's exactly the high of day struggled right around that area. QBT, PLTR. Reddit lost it here. Almost a mountain pass, but that second peak just slightly higher. Yeah, almost. A nice run up, great pullback, but then this goes way too high. And the time frame is a little bit early for the mountain pass, I think, too, Peter. I like it a little bit later. Tends to work out best. But that was close.
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah.
Let's take a trade. Run is pushing higher. Maybe it's done selling off. Trying to get above the VWAP here. Maybe we can get a VWAP breakout. It is a weak stock, though. I don't want to get caught in trying to catch a knife here.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, because this is a weak. It's very weak. So I'm sure they're looking for any buyers to dump some stuff into. So gotta be careful. Free trading terminal webinar this Thursday. That's happening this Thursday. Juneteenth. So friends, sign up for that. That's actually in tradingterminal.com. So if you're free and available, Lenny's gonna be presenting this Thursday. So check that out. There's the link. You can go and sign up So you get the alerts, you get the calendar, you don't forget because we're not gonna be on Thursday, so you might forget if you don't have your regular market routine and process. Um, when you wake up, you're gonna be doing something different. So just make sure you hit that link so you get a reminder on your phone at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's a tough one. Um, but I know you guys are gonna show up. You guys are gonna support Lenny. It is because I can see it happening now. You start to get your day going. You're off. You set up the barbecue, get a couple of drinks in.
Oh,
5 o'clock is gonna be a tough one. So we'll see. We'll
well,
see.
with the short sale restriction, I just tried to reshort Sunrun here, and I
Yep.
didn't get filled. The SSR kept me
Oh,
out,
you
and then
didn't
it
get filled?
dropped. I was trying to get
Yeah.
filled at 572, 573. I was seeing the price. I figure I could enter with a very tight stop, and I didn't get filled, and then it dropped, and I canceled my order because I've had that experience of it'll drop and then you get filled at the lower
Mm,
price, and I didn't want that.
gotcha.
So
In
it's too bad.
No, 007.
Don't.
No, it's not 2 weeks. It's 1 week. So $19 for 1 week access to the chat room. I did put the link up there. So you have it available to you. It's $19 for 1 week. But the 1 week gives you, it's not like the one we had before where you only got a couple of materials for education. You get access to the actual chat room so you can see Andrew trade live as he's taking his trade here on AMD. So there it is. Let's get you a better look. There it is. So you get access to this right here, which is the chat room, the trading terminal news. I mean, all kinds of stuff here. The members of the community there, you can chat, see what they're doing. Plus educational material. You get this for a whole week. So I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, you can't beat 19 bucks. Get access to the onboarding class with me on Monday. So Monday we'll have the onboarding class. And yeah, come hang out, come ask your questions. We had one yesterday, it was really nice. A lot of people showed up, so thank you for taking the time. And yeah, come join us and see what it's all about. Run is just starting to get choppy now. Like I don't trust it for a long, and
Yeah,
then it's forgotten. It's has not been selling down good
there you go.
here.
Yeah, maybe
Actually,
it's just as well I didn't get filled, so
yeah,
that's okay because it would be right back to my entry or a couple of cents above it right now.
yeah,
So that's okay.
yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's probably just too. Again,
It's
it's only
down a lot.
$5 now. Like
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's hard
it's
to
down a
drop
lot.
too
Yeah,
much further.
he's 40, and it hasn't been here in who knows how long. When I was looking at levels, like it's trying to hold on to support from April. And this 516 goes back to like 20. I mean, it's been a while. This guy's been doing very well with all the government help and all
Uh,
that. So goes
There's
back to
some
some time.
data that I was mentioning, Carlos, that
Yep.
came out. We had the 9:15 data that came out a while back. 10 o'clock, we had let's see, the housing market confidence index is down, lower than expected, and business inventories was the other thing I was looking at. It came out pretty much right on target at zero. 0% was the estimate. 0% was the number. So I said I didn't put the housing on there. I just ran out of line items, but. Housing market, yeah, so there's like a relative confidence scale expected to be 36. It came out at 32, so no, not huge there, but still less than expected, and that's, by the way, as low as it's been since 2023. So yeah, not a lot less confidence in the housing market now than you can imagine. It was like that scale, it was up at like 70, 80 back in 21, 22. Remember back then, Carlos, when housing prices were crazy, people were buying houses for all sorts of silly amounts. Hopefully,
Yeah.
out there, you're not stuck in a house that you bought a little
Yeah.
overpriced. But
It's managed. And those prices have not come down, man. They come down a little bit, but in markets like Florida, where all the New Yorkers just kind of fled to, in New York, those prices have
mm,
not come down, man. Actually,
oh
New
no,
York
and
just
they're
passed
still
a law.
holding.
They just passed a law of to make it easy to rent an apartment. That the
Mm.
tenants don't pay the commissions to the broker now, and it's a law. I got it right here because I had to. We're trying to rent an apartment out in the city, and the new law is now that the landlords has to pay the commission to the broker. So this is new. Never heard of this before, but this is a way to make it more affordable for tenants in New York City instead of paying,
Yeah.
9,000, for first month rent, first month deposit plus commission, right, on $3,000 rent. They only pay 6,000. So it's a big chunk for them that they save now.
That's
But now that
that's
comes out of my pocket. It's not nice,
that's
you know.
I'll just say, Carlos, that sounds more normal to me. Like at least here, the renter would
Yeah.
never pay the commission. That's just not how it
Yeah,
should
it's
work.
here's always been that way. Jersey's still the same. It's
Yeah,
just still, but they'll follow suit. They'll follow suit pretty soon.
yeah.
Because you're right, it does make sense. Um,
New
I
York's
just
always been
wish
an odd
I
market, it
wish they
seemed
would
to
have
me, for
done
renting.
this
Like,
after my place got rented out. Like I wish they would have done this a month later, 2 months ago, 2 months
yeah,
later, right? Not now. So that's not fun. It's the Fair Act, the New York Fair Act, something like that. That is somewhere over there. Not cool. BOTR long. Uh, we it was a while ago. If you wanted to go, oh, I see you're looking at previous day close. I don't usually play it off the previous day close as much as the VWAP. So, but it
yeah.
can. We can have a breakout here. I VWAP and in VWAP, if I would have saw this here, we would not. I would have not taken this trade. It just looks messy. Not the nice breakout pullback that we love to see. QUBT having a day here. Let's see QUBT. Very nice. AMD, Anderson AMD. Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
very
is.
nice. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Just saw it. That's beautiful. So he added. Let me just show you. Why am I telling you? Let me show you. Boom, doo-dum, doo-dum.
Yeah.
Let me zoom
You
in.
got the timing just right on that.
Oh, he did. I love the ads too. Take a little zoom in
Whoa.
action in here. See what's going on.
It's amazing to me what people find comfortable to look at. If you go to the chat room, Carlos,
Yeah,
pull up a chart that BB Fasher posted,
I could
just
do that.
just for entertainment.
Pull that up. Yes. Andrew changed his camera. This
It's
looks
like,
much better because he's further away from
yeah,
the camera. That looks good.
oh,
That
there you
looks
go.
good.
Yeah, it does.
Because before we were like all into his. It's just his face here, but this is good. This looks really good. All right, let's see here.
See,
What
it's
what
just
is
like,
this?
look, yeah, look at the color of his candles, and then he's got the AMD in like bright pink in the background, and like you look at those charts all day, that would give me
That
a
would
headache.
drive me nuts. Hey, to each
Yeah.
his own. Each his own. But that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I mean, if that's what
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
comfortable with, then so be it. But
yeah, yeah.
anyway,
So Andrew partial right
just
at 129.74. This is the same. This is the pre-market high. So we have the same level. So I think that's the pre-market high. So it's just struggling there. But man, he's timed it perfect. Went in, added, partial, and then all out now. It's taking a bit. But I don't. Yeah, I see what he got out. He's following his rule. You got to step out of
yeah,
break even. I get that. But this might still come back up
yeah,
though. It's just I get it. You don't want to hold on through the swings after you taking a nice partial. So I get that. He can always get back in. That's one of the things that Andrew shows you and teaches you. Like you can always get back in. Commissions are cheap. You don't got to hold through this, right? Look at that 14, almost 15K there on his profits right now. So why, why risk? Why risk it? Keep it,
yep.
keep it green. Keep it green. Protect profits. Oh, Sam is saying he might be color deficient. Yeah, you know what, Peter, that's mean of you, man. That's you're a
That's
bad
true.
person, man. I don't understand why would you make fun of people like that.
I wasn't making fun. I was
I'm
just saying that
kidding. I'm
it's a
kidding.
color
I know you're
combination
not.
that would hurt my head.
I'm kidding. That's actually not the color. That's not like the color that they use. There's more. There's different colors. We're not talking about you. He's listening in. I didn't know he was listening in. All right. So
Yeah.
Andrew's like, why are you talking about me? No. We're all good stuff,
No,
Andrew.
no,
All good
we're not
stuff. Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about you, Andrew.
All good stuff. But But yeah, we're talking about your
Wow,
camera. Your
look
camera.
at
I think he changed the camera to the quality looks better. Yeah, right. We
PLTR.
appreciate the camera
Paris got
angle.
a great PLTR trade. He got the
Let's
drop on
see.
that.
Let's see what's going on. That's a typical Paris trade.
That's a
Short,
Paris trade, isn't it?
partial. I'm surprised he didn't even add here. I'm so shocked he didn't add here. But yeah, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. AMD just hanging out right above the VWAP. UBT, same thing. Run, did it end up bouncing? See, run, beautiful VWAP fake out and right back down. So it's just messy now, guys. Be careful with that one. UTR. Not seeing anything great there. Reddit is very clean. CRCL dropping back down. FSLR did recover a little bit. Zero did open up here, and we're just kind of dig it out of the halts. Has been very choppy. Be careful, guys. Low flow stock can't short this one. Hard to borrow, but it wasn't our gappers list today, so just be mindful of that. Hims, what's going on with Hims? I see you guys throwing out Hims. Yeah, recovery here, bounce. Just kind of doing what the overall market is a lot of the stocks are doing, right? Nothing insane. Here's AMD. AMD is probably gonna try one more time for that 129.74. I think it really, and I see the SPY. The SPY is pushing higher too, so maybe possible breakout. 129. Tesla. What is Tesla up to?
Yeah, AMD's really stuck so far today in a range. Tesla had a sort of drop a little bit after the open, but now it's settled down again.
Yeah. Not much.
No, not much. It's actually pretty quiet today. We had some initial movement on a couple of things, right? Obviously, the solar stocks dropped, and whether you were trading FSLR, Run, or Enphase, right? Sort of similar move. Then you've got like the Reddit that went long that I know a few people took advantage of. The OKLO that dropped, but pretty quiet overall, I would say.
Yeah. What is where is the chart for the Fed? What is that link? What does it look like for tomorrow? I know they meet
which
today and
chart?
tomorrow. The Fed rate chart. This is a chart that kind of tells where everybody feels like voting. I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought I had the link.
Absolutely.
Bookmapped.
It's the I use the CME FedWatch tool. So here, let me post it, Carlos, for you in here. I'll put it right in the chat. Everybody can have it. There it is.
You did our chat? Our
YouTube
chat?
YouTube
chat?
Just the YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, I don't see it yet. Well, that's weird. It didn't come across.
Not, oh no, I see it.
Are you blocked? Are you blocked, Peter?
I don't know. I mean, I see it. Here, I'll send it to you directly here in the Telegram.
I wonder if YouTube, like when you put a link, like they run to it and kind of verify before they post it.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Maybe they.
It's weird.
Maybe they do block it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. So let's see here. So this is tomorrow's action. Actually, this is better here. And where is it? So 90. Is this it here? No.
99.8. It's gone down by 0.1%. Looks like one other person said, well, maybe they'll lower the rates. Because it was 99.9 yesterday. Yep. So 99.8.
There you go.
But yeah,
still change their mind.
You can tell. Basically, virtually everybody thinks the rates are going to stay unchanged when they have the announcement tomorrow afternoon.
So I guess maybe the market, if it's uneasy a little bit, it's all maybe on Powell's comments. I mean, I don't know what else can, you know what's happening. It's not like it's 50-50 here. It's pretty certain what we're going to go with.
Well, where the trading opportunity is if it comes out, if the rate comes out anything different than unchanged, then
Oh
you're going to
yeah.
get like
Oh,
big
we're gonna
market
have
movement
a
because everybody's going to be caught by surprise, right? But
yeah. We're gonna have
I
a
mean, it's unlikely, but
big moves. When
possible.
was the last time something like that
Always
happened? Um,
possible. It was right at the tail end of the pandemic when the rates started to go up, and everybody was convinced that they were going to hold rates. Instead, they pumped it up by like half a point or something, and it was one of those where, at most, people thought maybe it was a quarter point. And I remember, I mean, there might have been another one after that, but that's the one I remember
yeah.
where Powell and the Fed moved the rates up by a full half point, and the market just lost its mind. It just
Hmm.
like we had massive moves in the afternoon. It was great trading opportunities.
Looking at Tesla for maybe a breakout above the VWAP. Let's see. I like that one here right now, the way it's setting up. So we'll see how it goes. Um, Peter T in chat says colorblind here. It took me a while to make the colors right. Who wants a
Mm.
10 colorblind safe colors for Dash Trader Pro? You have that? I'm just gonna go along here, Tesla. So you have a layout that is 10 colorblind safe colors for Dash. I'm assuming that's like
Mm.
a palette
That's
of
cool.
colors. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Now, is it the same color palette for everyone? I mean, this is me asking now. Is it the same like is it a standard or like every person has a different color looks better? They got to tweak it. That'll be interesting to know. Sure, I can ask ChatGPT. All right, so I'm long Tesla. My stop is 320. It's below these candles here. Below these candles. So that's 323.35 ish. I don't want to see it make a new low off of this candle specifically. So let's see if we can get the push here going above the VWAP. I did like this setup here. It's kind of like a confirmation pattern that we look for, but it's not happening right at the VWAP. Probably would have been better to wait for this setup to happen here, but I'm a little anxious, man. I want to trade something. I've been sitting here for too long without a trade. It's not good. Don't follow that. It's not good. You should be as patient as you need to be.
You're getting itchy trigger finger there.
I
Don't.
know. And actually, you know what? The better trade would have been here. And I would have had the same exact entry. There was no reason for this trade at all. Because here's my breakout candle. Here's the pullback. And here's my confirmation right now. I would have had the same entry. So feeling the FOMO there did not help at all. There was no point in that. So I'll note that for next time. No point in doing that at all. Could have waited. So let's see. 324.75. I'll take a partial. That'll give us about 50 cents or so if we can get there.
Yeah. AMD is trying here. See if it can get to the 130. That's what it would need to do here to break higher. Tesla. I'm not sure where Tesla's going. The market did push higher, but we'll see if it continues.
Do you all use blue light filter? Um, I don't, but I don't
No.
think that's a thing, to be honest. I think people think that's a thing, but I don't think that's a thing. um, it doesn't hurt your eyes. It just gets you awake, which I don't mind being awake when I'm trading the market open. Right. It does affect though the at night. It does affect you when you're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah, some people find that it's I don't know that wearing glasses that give a blue light filter. I don't know if it's a placebo or not, but they feel less strain in their eyes.
It's mental,
I
man.
I, I bought some glasses and I tried them and I just found them annoying.
It's
So
mental. It's all
so I
mental.
don't
It's a
I
mental
don't use
thing.
them.
I spoke to my. I thought I was losing my vision, man. When I was trading, I was spending a lot of time with six monitors, looking up and just trading like crazy. And
Yeah.
my eyes started hurting, and I thought a couple of things. This is gonna be funny actually after I take this parcel here. I thought that I was straining
Oh,
my
there
eyes,
AMD
looking up.
AMD punched through.
Come on, just get to 325. Just trying. I'm gonna be patient here. So I thought I was training my eyes looking up here at the monitors. And I thought that was hurting them.
Right.
So I went to the eye doctor and she says, no, it's just your check the moisture in your room. It's probably the air is dry and your eyes are dry and that's why they hurt because my vision was hurting. I thought it was the screens messing me up. It wasn't. She's like, so I asked her, yeah, I thought it was the blue light. She's like, that's not a thing. I'm like, okay,
Well,
you sure? There's a lot of
you know,
glasses being sold on this. Uh, I don't know. It's a
it's
big
funny. I got
business.
told the same thing by my optometrist, or similar thing, where I
Yeah,
was like, I swear by staring at these screens all day, I thought, oh, like I'm ruining my eyesight, right? It's affecting it. And they're like, it doesn't
yeah,
work that way.
yeah.
You
Same thing she
don't,
said. It doesn't work that way.
because I thought,
Yeah,
well, because I can see my screens perfectly and they're like 3 feet or arm's length away from me, right? So I'm like, well, that seems to be what my focal length is now. I think by staring at the screens, I've affected it, because I can't read books as well. It's a little fuzzy, and I have trouble with my distance. And they're like, no, it's not what you're doing. You're just getting old. You're getting old. That's what
yeah, yeah.
happens.
That's
The
it.
the structures of your eyes start to
Yep,
solidify. They're, you know.
yep. I think after like
So I'm like,
2 years old, like this like an age that it does hurt the kid's eyes, but after like a very early age, it's not a thing anymore. It's whatever.
yeah.
Because some parents be like, "Oh my God, don't keep on the tablet. They're gonna go blind early." I'm like, that's not the way that works. You know, not the way that works.
Yeah, NC Trader. I don't know. Like, it's, we got to trust the professionals, I guess, that we talk to. So
Yeah.
it's in any
Still
event,
in
one way or
Tesla
the
has
other.
not hit my stop yet. It's giving me a really hard time to get up to 325 at
Mm.
least, so I can make this trade worth it. But we'll see. Might stop me out here 323, 35 ish. I'll be out. So right here, we don't want to make a new low. Right now, it's not looking good. So I'll stop out.
Yeah, I was looking. It looked like it was about to
It
go,
looked,
and then it
yeah, it
just
looked
just
good.
couldn't break. Eh?
Yeah, looked good.
Should have taken AMD.
How'd the AMD do? AMD, oh, look at AMD. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah, it broke through the high there. It got through the 130, and
I
Andrew
knew it
jumped in there for the
eventually,
break.
yeah, it was going to end up breaking out because it's been, all right,
Carlos,
Tesla's hitting my
sorry,
stop, so we'll
Tesla.
have to jump out. Yeah, I
Tesla,
was looking at the screen too.
yeah.
So
Okay.
jump out of
Yeah, I didn't
Tesla.
want
There's
you to
my
miss it.
stop. 323.35 ish. So didn't work out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. SPY is pushing higher. I'm surprised that Tesla didn't really get going.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Yeah.
eye care business. The majority of UV damage happens before the age of 18. Ah, look at that. So if you're above
Okay.
18, look right into the sun. You're good to go. There's no issues. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Blink more often.
Yeah, I mean
Well, I got a
that's what.
humidifier. So that's how I fixed the problem. I got a humidifier to bring down
There
the
you go.
because it was really dry. I was renting an office at that time in Hackensack, and I guess the AC in that office was really in the wintertime especially.
Mm.
So I got me a humidifier,
Well,
fixed it right up, man. A week. My eyes were
yeah.
fluid as a Tesla wheel, man. It was just loving it.
Well, we forget about that, right? Like, traditional air conditioning, how does it work, right? It actually works by pulling moisture out of the air.
Yeah.
So air conditioning makes the office dry. So yeah,
Yep.
it's even in your house, right? That's why it's often good to have a humidifier to reintroduce proper moisture.
Absolutely, man. Still looking at Tesla. I want my money back. So I'm still looking at Tesla for long. Let's see. Let's see if we can get above the VWAP here. Oh, and another thing too is you know what strains your eyes? The brightness, the actual brightness. Like if it's
Mm.
too bright, your eyes can get tired of the brightness. Like I have these lights. These lights get me tired. To get this room to light up like this, these lights are bright.
Yeah.
Uh, they get tired. The minute I'm done, I'm off the screen. I turn these lights off immediately.
Huh.
They go dark.
It was interesting.
No
I mean,
regular
that's why I
lights.
went to black charts years ago, because
Yeah,
I find it just more comfortable. Again, whether that's a placebo or not, there's argument as to whether the white charts or the black charts are better. I just find it more comfortable, so that's what I use. So, anyways, all this talk, guys. If you find putting on a UV filter, or those blue light glasses, you feel less strain, then use them, right? I mean, let's face
facts.
it, not everybody's eyeball is the same, so it could very well
Yeah.
work for you.
Yep. Yep. Mm.
All right, guys. I'm not seeing any other trades. Reddit had a very interesting move up, sort of did a double top, and now it's moving right back down. No trade in that for me, but watching
Yep, yep.
AMD, I like AMD here at the high. This may give me a reversal opportunity at some point.
PLTR,
Uh,
Buffer VWAP. Andrew, when he went back long, AMD around
yeah,
129, he's already since then partial quite a bit. Finally broke out of that pre-market high of the day level, so that was nice. You can see it here. So nice entry there for the break, and then partial. So pretty cool. Peter T in chat. If you're trying to paste something, YouTube might not let you. It might be blocking it. So I see you're saying colors here, semicolon, but I don't see anything else after the comments. So if you want to send me something, carlos@babletraders.com, send it there, and I'll take a look at it. YouTube might not let you send certain things.
there we go. Some good advice from NC Trader. Look at eyes. Look at that. The 20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away and blink 20 times. There you go.
We
I
definitely
like
have
it.
not done that today or anytime during the pre-market show.
No.
We are definitely not doing that. We should, though.
Yeah. It does make sense that we probably don't blink as much because you tend to blink more when when your eyes refocus, and if you're just staring at the
Yeah.
same screen, you're not refocusing as much. So
I'm telling you,
now
man.
I'm like conscious of every time I blink.
Now I'm looking. Yeah, now I am just like looking around and blinking. And
Yeah, no,
green. Green's
looking out the
supposed to be
window.
good for you.
I
Oh, look at
I keep
AMD
saying
go. Oof,
the
very
problem is
nice.
like I've got like the worst. This is like the main floor office that I use here. My
Mm-hmm.
problem is I'm in the suburbs, so like I've got good. I can see down the street at the front. I can down the street in the back. I'm on a corner lot, so from the other side of the house, I can see the street over there. But unfortunately, this window. Here's what I look at. Here's what I look at this one. Let's see if you guys can see that. I look at the siding of the house next door. That's not very
Oh, yeah,
exciting,
that's
is
not
it?
fun. That's not fun. Yeah.
that's that's what I got
Yeah.
out my window. So yeah, I look at the guy's siding. So
Yep. Agreed.
which is roughly 20 feet away, but there's not much to
Not
see over
appealing. Yeah,
there.
not appealing to look there.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm over here. I can't see if they're on my lawn. Maybe Ian, that's a good thing. Yeah, I know. Usam, that's a great view, isn't it? Just looking at siding. Maybe I should like go over and paint a mural on the guy's house. See how long it takes him to notice. He'd probably never know.
Plant some trees.
How often does?
Plant some trees. Plant those pine trees. That'll be good. Green is good for the
Yeah,
eyes. Let's check with NC Trader, our eye specialist. We probably have him on for an episode on our whiskey,
yeah,
weapons, and Wall Street podcast.
yeah. We should do that. You know what? What are you doing Thursday, Carlos? I got nothing to do
We
on
should do
Thursday.
it, man. Let's do it.
We should.
Thursday,
Yeah,
I don't got nothing going on. We should
yeah.
definitely do it. Let's
Seriously. I
let's
mean, yeah,
plan
take
it
an
and
hour. Take an
yeah,
hour. Let's have a
if that.
conversation. See,
Yeah.
see what happens.
See where it goes.
Yeah, I like it. We need a theme song. We need a new song or something.
Yeah, we can't use the same one. We need something new,
Yeah.
spicy. Why not too spicy? Something catchy. AMD pulled back 129.74. Let's see if it can use this now as support. So usually resistance becomes support. Let's see if this can become support for AMD and head back up. SPY's not helping a little bit. The Qs are not helping it. But how many whiskeys before YouTube cancels you? No, man. Trump is in house. You're not getting canceled. We gotta wait for somebody else to come. That's more cancellation culture. We're not getting canceled. Me and Peter can get away with this show now for now. Maybe in another administration, probably not. But right now we could. But yeah, cancel culture is it's no matter what party you're on, it's not a good thing. Like people should be able to speak whatever they want, no matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. People should be able to speak what their mind. And the country's always been like that, right? It's freedom of speech. Say whatever you want to say. If you don't like it, don't tune in. That's it. Simple as that. But
Yeah.
the cancel culture, I don't really has nothing to do with which party side you're on. It's just people trying to silence other people doesn't make any sense. It's like going to see Dave Chappelle and getting offended because Dave Chappelle acted like Dave Chappelle. Like, what? What did you expect was gonna happen on a Dave Chappelle show? Oh my goodness! Don't go see Dave Chappelle if you don't want to hear that stuff. That's it. Somebody from the Netherlands that we can meet up. We do have traders in the Netherlands. I don't know how many, but we do have traders. I'm not sure on YouTube, but in the community we have a bunch of traders from all over, man. Really. So from a physical therapist perspective, you can exercise your eye muscles by varying the distance from your monitors and refocus. Right? Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. We got a lot of professionals in chat, man. I love it.
I know.
Got
I
a
know. That's
lot of
why I love asking
professionals.
like our chat room and
Yeah,
stuff questions because you just never know. You got people that know all sorts of
yeah,
stuff. We get nurses and doctors and pilots, and you can ask questions
yep,
about stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a plumber, and I can,
yeah,
it's great."
yep, yep.
Um, I do see a question you're asking about my what strategies I would trade. Sufyan, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Sufyan. Anyways, you're asking what my 1 to 10. It's a trade that happens specifically at 3:50 p.m. Really, it's a trend reversal. I look for short term trends that happen coming right up to the 3:50 time. You'll notice if you watch the markets at 3:50 p.m. That's market time, so 10 minutes before the close, you get a spike in volume and usually increased movement, and I look for that. I look for a weakness once it pops or drops, and then I trade the reversal, the inverse, for a move. You don't always get them. I probably get two a week, 2 out of every 5 days, and but I've got like an 80% success rate trading those, so it works for me. So yeah. If you're a member of Bearable Traders, I've got a full strategy, a full webinar that describes it. I was looking for it. I don't doesn't look like we have anything posted in YouTube, but you can definitely get it as part of the Bearable Traders community.
Yep. I think Andrew's coming on, so I'm connecting
I
here.
think so. I hear an
He
echo.
should be on. What's it again? Oh, because I'm in chat
Okay.
as well. I just turned on chat, so you might be hearing me from there too.
That's why. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Okay. I see him connected as soon.
People looking MU for
Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you, Andrew. I got you.
Technical properties problems. How's your trading day? I know, Peter, you shorted run at the open. What happened?
I did.
What did it go wrong?
Hey, it's a rising devil. It met my strategy and it worked out great. So yeah, good trade.
That is amazing. Very impressive. Short run at the open, rising devil. Brian would be very proud of you. He's on top of a cruise. He actually did send us a video. Carlos, did you show the video of
he sent the video. I saw the picture. Did not see the video.
I didn't see a video.
No, I'm gonna send you the video. He's sending it to
probably send it just to you, maybe.
Let me send it to you. He sent a message from everybody on top of
traders here.
Let me actually send it to
I haven't
you.
seen that.
You want to share?
Nice. All right, let's watch the video.
So how was your trading day, guys? I traded AMD and it was pretty good.
Yeah, we saw that, man. Nice. I had Tesla. It wasn't great. So small loss for today, but I haven't really found anything else. Missed a lot of good opportunities. Here's the video. Let's see. Oh, we didn't see this. All right, let's take a look. Let me get this set up here, friends. Just gonna download this and get it going.
Yeah, I want to see it too. I want to see
I
this
haven't
video.
seen it.
Yeah, Andrew, I just had the one trade, and that's usually what I do at the open, and then we'll see if we get some opportunity this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just what you showed that the video, I just want to show you that, okay, guys, everything is pretty good. So this is my position, and my piano is pretty nice. So
Andrew, share your screen with through Zoom.
Oh, I don't share my screen. Interesting. I knew there's something going on.
Yeah, just on Zoom. I see it coming up now, I think.
Yeah.
There it is.
So, yeah.
Yep. We'll get this one. There you go. All right, good.
Yeah, give me a second, guys. I'll be back quickly. So I'll just have to do a quick bathroom break.
Let's take a look.
Okay. While Andrew's doing that, we'll come back.
Come back and hang here. I do see is where is this? Here, let's look at Brian's video. We got the video here. Make sure we
Yeah,
got the audio.
I'm eager to see it.
Hello from our good buddy, Brian.
Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here on my Alaska cruise. Just heading out on the pool deck, and we're going to be doing a little bit of reading here. See, I've got my Anna Cooling book, Stock Trading Investing, Volume Price Analysis, and that's what I do on vacation. Always trying to learn stuff. So here we are down on the deck, and yeah, hope everyone's had a good day today. So we'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, good for him. But he's gonna go
Thanks, Brian.
re-trading on vacation. Oh, nice. Love it, love it.
I guess is there not things to see as you're cruising up the coast? I don't know.
He's gonna be digging into a book.
Okay, all right. Off he goes.
Yeah, I'll be like next to the rail looking at everything. I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what it's like.
Oh no,
but I don't think I'll be.
it's worth doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds like it'll be
People
fun.
love the Alaskan cruise. I've never done one, but I've done like you do the southern cruise, right? You go to like Mexico or some of the islands, right? Grand Cayman and around there. They're great because the water is usually pretty calm and it's warm. And I don't know, it's worth doing a cruise once, Carlos. Like just do a big ship, especially with the kids, because you don't really have to worry about them. Maybe your kids are actually a good age for a cruise because you could bring them to the daycare if you want, and they have fun playing with other kids, and then you get to go and wander, and like they can't get off the boat, so and then,
hopefully not.
Well, hopefully not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it's good. There's lots of stuff to do. They have lots of entertainment. It's I don't know. I think it's fun. I mean, it depends. If you're okay, just it's a lounging type vacation, right? Like with light activities and stuff for the kids. It's obviously not usually an adventure type vacation, but I wouldn't be. I'm not an active cruiser. I've got like my aunt. My aunt is like, oh my god, she like does, I don't know, like 8 cruises a year or something. Like an amazing.
I know
number.
people like that from my previous work environment. There was this lady, SR, we'll call her initials. She'd take 5 cruises a year. I'm like, what? Like, oh yeah, her and her husband, that's what they love to do. So some people do really love it. So
it's true. You do have to pick a good cruise line, though, and a good ship. But I find some of the big ships, Carlos, it's just amazing to me because you got to do it once, right? Because you go into this ship and it's like 14 floors, and you go into the shopping mall and it's like 5 stories tall with like these giant chandeliers or the main dining room or something. And you're like, I don't understand. It takes your mind a while to process that you're actually on a boat because it feels like you're in a giant shopping mall, or there's a casino, there's a shopping mall, there's a skating rink, for God's sake. There's like just things that you would think, I don't understand how this is all on a boat. So again, it's worth doing once. I agree. I've only done it a couple of times, but it's a mall that floats. Oh yeah, they'll take your money. If you haven't done so
already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We are sitting at 282 likes. We'd love to be at 400. That's usually our goal. We still got 809 people watching on deck, so we'd love to get that number a little bit higher. Thank you for that. Today we have 11. We'll have Thor coming in, and then at 11:15 he's gonna bring in Nathan. Him and Nathan were on yesterday. You guys were talking shop, and some more stuff there. So definitely hang out for that. But yeah, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. We only ask because it reminds me to hit the like button, like I just did. It reminds Peter sometimes, and it reminds you.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
I did it. I've already done it. I'm good.
Good.
I missed while I was busy. We were busy talking, Carlos. I think I missed the Mountain Pass entry here on AMD.
Which one?
I was watching it, then I lost focus. Good double top there. When it was over around the 130.50 would have been good with a stop over high of day. I don't want to go chasing it here, but yeah. That was a decent entry.
It's a good risk reward back to V up if it can. But we got to see this 129.74 is acting as support lately. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Still good Mountain Pass. Even if you'd have got to 129.74, would have been good. Would have been
correct if you got the entry. But that's why I can't chase it from here. So too close.
Yep.
Too close to support now. So
What happened?
Oh no, just people posting their posting pictures of the Titanic, and
It's you either hate it or
Amanda
love it.
saying her
Yeah.
claustrophobia could never. Would you feel claustrophobic on a ship? I mean, the thing is massive. Like I don't. Well, I guess I don't know how claustrophobia works. I guess it works differently with everybody, but it's not like you're in an
It's
enclosed
yeah.
space. Like it's
Yeah, if you have 14
the room.
floors, 14 floors, I don't see how you feel closed in, but it could just it's mental, man, right? You just know you're on a boat, you know
Yeah.
you can't go from east to west on land, and that could be a problem, just that in
If you're
itself.
the
So,
rooms are small, I get that, but I mean, I suppose you could always rent one of the suites, which is bigger. But if you just get one with windows, usually the windows helps with the claustrophobia. You're looking out, and then you've got unlimited
yeah.
vistas, lots of ocean to look at.
That's what planes do. You know planes are designed with the lighting to make it feel like it's bigger than what it is.
Oh yeah, oh, that
Oh
makes
yeah, so
sense.
the lighting on the newer jets, especially the 787, the newer jets, the lighting is designed in a way that makes you feel like you have more room than what you actually do.
Mm.
Like if it was all one color, then you feel more claustrophobic than you actually are. So think about all this
Well,
stuff.
I'm telling you, the lighting doesn't help my knees feel like it's bigger than it is because, I mean, I'm not super tall, but even at 6'1", my knees are always hitting the chair in front of me, and it just
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
could
always
see that.
aggravating.
I could
I
see
need
that.
some knee lighting, maybe make me feel like that's bigger.
Let's call first class, Peter. Fix that problem really quick.
Yeah. You know, the problem is the difference in cost, especially out of Canada here. Like, I just can't warrant it. I'm like, you know what? I'll suffer, and then I'll treat myself to like excellent meals throughout my entire vacation, and it's cheaper than the
It
business class or first
does
class
not
upgrade.
make sense. The price, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. I was booking a flight for my parents to Florida. They go down there all the time, and like, you know what, let me surprise them and upgrade their tickets to first class. For a 3 hour flight, it was more than double. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
it's a 3 hour flight with United. I'm from Newark to West Palm Beach. Like, what? No, I'm not paying three times, almost two, three times more than the price. Doesn't make any sense. So it's
I
just
know.
outrageous that people are actually paying
I,
this for a 3 hour flight. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I used to be able to fly business class or first class all the time when I was flying business travel for the company, and I was working in Australia. So I was back and forth between Australia and North America a lot, and that was great. Like it was great. I had like the lie flat beds, and you get your own screen, and they bring you the gourmet meals. And man, it's a 16-hour flight. So, but it was awesome. I'm like, all right, so this maybe is worth it, but still, I'm not sure that I would pay it because if I'm going to pay $1,500 for like your economy or $6,000 for your business class, I'm like, Jesus, for like $3,500. Again, I could eat like a king on my entire trip.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
Like
That's a lot of
anyways.
ammo, whiskey, and stocks you could buy. A lot
There you
of
go.
I mean, just put into perspective. I mean, come
All
on.
right, there you go. You know what? You're right. We got to save some of this conversation for our
Yeah,
Thursday
let's schedule
afternoon.
it.
So,
Let's do it
all
on
right, I
Thursday.
think
It'll be
so.
fun.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
let's
it.
do it.
Yeah,
See where
why
it
not?
goes. We got to
See,
keep it short though. I
yeah.
noticed that people when me and Thor were doing our podcast, people like 25 minutes, no more than half an hour. You lost them
Hmm,
past half hour. Yeah,
okay.
the shorter the better. So we'll make it
Ah,
quick, go over a
well,
couple of things,
I'll have
and
to rant fast then. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
or not just put no. We got to save some rants. We got to, if we have two rants, make them good.
all right.
But yeah,
We could do
and
like a
then
couple of episodes.
we could record the second one the same day and release it out
There you go.
another time. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
tell it to Joe Rogan. No, Joe Rogan
This will
goes
be
for like
fun.
an hour and change. But then again, I mean, look who he has on, on the interview. People like Trump and all these stars. Did he have Tom Cruise? I don't think he had Tom Cruise, but he has all these stars on. That's a big difference,
Yeah.
you know.
I
But
notice he's changed his format of. I just see clips of his. I've never watched a full one of his broadcasts, admittedly, but
I,
he.
yeah,
I notice he's got like a whole crew now. He's like, "Have you seen that video about? Call up the video," and he's got people that are like, splicing in all this video, whatever video he's asking for. I mean, I
yeah,
assume that a lot of that's planned in advance, but he's always just randomly calling out things. I want to see
Yeah.
that. Find it for me.
Yep, yep. I seen that. I never seen an actual show, full show, but the people that have, they say they love it. They say that it's pretty.
Do
entertaining.
we need to send a search crew after Andrew? Because he said he had to go to the bathroom. Did he fall in?
No,
What
no.
happened?
I think
Is he okay?
I think he's gone.
I'm worried about him.
No,
That's
he's sure he'll be fine.
gastrointestinal problems. It's,
No, I'm sure he's good. I'm sure he's
well, guys, AMD worked perfectly. It was picture perfect. Even at the late entry, I guess it would have worked out. I didn't want to go chasing it, but once again, cost myself an opportunity by being risk adverse. But
look
there
at
you go.
zero.
There's a mountain pass. If you're looking for what a mountain pass looks like, AMD did a good one.
AMD.
Got the volume signature a little bit before the high, but you can see where it got the volume there around 1017. And then it hit the high, clearly couldn't break higher, pull back, retest to the high without being able to break through on no increased volume. Clear signal then. And I said I missed it by about 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, any entry above 130, I think, would have been good with the stop at high of day. And this is the move you look for, right? Back to the VWAP, the average price. And if it goes further, then great. If not, well, that's your prime trade. So good move. Traditional.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I came across a documentary from Tom Cruise. I was watching it on Netflix, and I think this is. He said this will be his last Mission 7 series that he's going to retire it.
Yes.
So I didn't know that.
He said that they're
interesting.
They're done. I mean, you gotta end them at some point, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Luis, yes, absolutely. The second always needs to be lower for me. So if you look at Reddit, for example, RDDT, so that looks like a mountain pass. If you look at it, right, actually a better move up to the high. The problem for me on it is twofold. One, you didn't get any volume spike when it hit the high the first time, but the second time, yeah, it went just, and it was only like, let's see, what is the difference between the first one? 96. And so it was 20 cents, but it doesn't look like much here because it was moving a lot. But it did spike higher, which would have knocked the trade out for me. I mean, you can see in hindsight, like Reddit looks great. It worked wonderfully, right? It dropped like, I don't know, $11, $12 from the high. So, it's not saying that they don't work, but for me, that's usually a condition that I abort on the trade. So.
This is Dr. Jared. Guys, if you have not joined in at
well, that was our Jared After Dark. Yeah,
Jared After
I
Dark.
put him in
he's coming out with a show too.
Well, it was just he was saying he was going to stay on past 4:00, so he was doing Jared After Dark. Yeah, he liked that picture a lot. I asked I did that in Chat GPT. I took just a screenshot of his face. And I said, make Jared, put him in a velour dinner jacket and with a dark background. And that's what it came and a cravat is what I asked for. And that's what it came up with. So I noticed that it made him look a little more, he's a little more Lex Luthor-y in my mind.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Somehow
Lex Luthor type character there, yeah.
Yeah, somehow he's got that look. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, yeah. Good look to Jared. All right. I did see Andrew back. He's alive. That's good to know. Hey, buddy. You okay?
I'm sorry. Yes. I
We were worried about you.
needed to take a shower. No. I just needed to take a shower. I'm sorry. Situation is pretty good. Reddit had a really big reversal. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. AMD also didn't hit anything higher, so the situation is pretty good. Market is kind of a meh today, eh?
A little bit, a little bit.
Not exciting about anything.
Not much.
Yeah, there were some good moves. It's just hard to take. I don't know. From the beginning, I found this market a little bit weird starting out, but there were some good moves. CRCL. Reddit was a great move at the open. A great reversal down $11, like you said. Nvidia, nothing. Zero got halted again. Well, what's the news on this, Peter? Zero Therapeutics. You talked about this.
Zero, yeah, they got
This
FDA
one?
approval
Yeah.
on a drug, the treatment.
Pneumonia
Okay.
or really something? Yeah, it's crazy. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty
Yeah.
awesome move.
Zero. Wow. Let's see. Halted. Actually, it should be reopening here in about 30 seconds. So let's see if it reopens on schedule. 55 seconds. 10:47 and 55 is when it should reopen. Well, it's hard to borrow, so you can't even short this thing.
The float is really low. The float is only 4 million shares.
Yes. Here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. Let's see if it opens. There it is. It's open.
Wow. Yeah, this is really, really. It's gonna get halted again, I think, huh? Oh, boom.
Yeah, big
Wow.
spread here. Yeah, it's
It's gonna get
hits the
halted
limit
again.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
gonna get
no, they
halted.
saved it.
No, maybe not. Yeah.
They saved it.
Wow, this is absolutely crazy, guys. Be careful, guys. 100 shares. If you want to trade 100 shares.
Yeah, don't go in on this, Andrew, either. You made good money today. Do not touch this.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Wow.
Just so unpredictable. So unpredictable what could happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
About
even with that 100
250%.
shares, right? You could make, or
Yeah, I mean, 100.
I've
done that before. I did it with CRWV when it was going nuts. I took 100 shares, and I lost. It didn't work out, but I lost a very small amount.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I wanted to be part of the action. And that's okay. 150 shares, just if you want to see if you're right. Maybe you can make a little bit of money, but to try to go here 1,000 shares to try to be a hero and make 10 grand, yeah, it's not a good idea. It's not a good plan.
No. Yeah. High risk for sure. Yeah, look at this thing. Well,
Guys, I like to
get halted.
Yeah, it's gonna go to halted again. I like to be in touch with people, guys, in LinkedIn. If you're in LinkedIn, I would love to be in touch with you guys. I posted my LinkedIn profile here. So if anyone wants to be in touch, I'd love to connect with people in LinkedIn because it's more professional environment. SPY and Qs are not doing anything. Reddit really lost it. Reddit was a very, very, very nice
Strong move at the open, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then completely lost it. I think John took it very nice. John does trade live with P Capital Trading Bootcamp, people. Yes. John does trade in the P Capital Bootcamp. Sorry, guys. I took a shower to wake up. Just wake up now.
Took a cold shower, Andrew? You took a warm shower?
No, normal
Cold shower?
Normal shower.
I like the people that take cold showers in the West Coast and say, "Oh, yeah, you should always take a cold shower." I'm like, yeah, come do a cold shower here in the East Coast, in New York, New Jersey area. This water is not your regular cold water. This is freezing water over here.
That's funny. Well, speaking of which, I should go take a shower after my tennis this morning and the spinning class. So, guys, thanks so much for having me this morning. We'll be back again tomorrow. Don't forget, there is a holiday this week. Thursday, the markets are closed with the Juneteenth holiday. And tomorrow should be interesting because we do have the rate announcement that's happening tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. So the markets might be a little quiet today. we're waiting that rate announcement. Although that being said, like we've been looking at, right, 99.8% of all analysts think that there's going to be no change in the rate. So everybody thinks it's going to be steady as she goes. If it comes out any different than that, oh, we could have some fun tomorrow afternoon, but that's not the expectation. So take care, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, brother. God bless you. Great trading. Peter made a lot of money on the run. All right, guys. Any question, guys, in the next 5-10 minutes that I'm here with you? Then Thor, they're coming to YouTube, and Paris and Gary, they're coming for. Yeah, Brian, cold plunge. I'll do cold plunges. It's really nice. Actually, my building has a really nice sauna on. So I go, it's really hot, and then I bring the cold water, do it. It's really amazing. The cold plunges, I love it. Yeah. What is that one? Morozo Comfort. Oh, you can actually buy a Moroscope. Oh, I can buy that house, huh? It's interesting. Yeah, I don't have a space to put the Morosco here. I live in an apartment, but I agree with you that it's amazing. All right, any question, guys, in chat room or in YouTube about the trades that we did? So the book is coming very soon, guys. I'm just working on the design right now. Let me actually show it to you, some of the designs. Did I show you some of the designs that we had together? Let's go. So these are the designers. There's a website that it comes and, you know, people put the designs. Kind of like this one. What do you think? It's pretty simple. This one. This one is also. Want to go white? This would be the white. What about this one? Living is like really living. Black one, huh? Yeah, so I have to just look for the designs and then finalize the designs. And that's it. I think that's the last part that we're having. Yeah, definitely not these guys. I like this living is yeah, so I'm just covering the designing the cover right now. Then after that, we definitely not this one. Definitely not this one. It's nothing new. No brains. Yeah, I know. The brain is kind of weird. It's like a surgery book. All right, so that's it. Yeah, as soon as the design is complete, I'll well, welcome, Vada North. So the Elite membership comes with a complete education. So all the webinars, all the Elite, all mentorship sessions, all the advanced courses, everything is in there. So Ram was asking why AMD. AMD was, yesterday. Do you see the AMD trade on yesterday? So this was a massive 10% move on AMD with heavy volume. So obviously AMD had some significant news because they provided a chip. So it was a stock and play yesterday. So we did it. It's kind of a second day play on it. Usually the second day play after such a huge days like this are a little bit meh. But it's still, as you see, it was a little bit difficult, but it did provide eventually a breakout on that. And Reddit was another one that was really good. I wish actually I was looking at Reddit. So it was a really nice 1 minute open range breakout. I did see Reddit somewhere around here on this pullback. I was thinking of taking it, but I was on AMD. And it wasn't a good day for me because last night I couldn't sleep properly, took a sleeping pill, and then when I took a sleeping pill, my mind is foggy for at least 1 hour, 2 hours. So that's why I took a shower. You don't want to. I wasn't just really in the best version of myself this morning. My family in Iran, they're good. Thank you so much for your concern and your messages. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, my family so far is good. I encourage my mom to leave Iran, but she hasn't made the decision yet. My mom, she's Canadian too, so she can come actually, but she's still in Iran. All right, I'm gonna hand it over to boss Thor. How are you doing, buddy? Looking good. Hey, what's up, man? How was your trading? What did you trade?
Good getting in. I actually tried a short on crude on oil that I lost my first try, but I'm back short on it again after it kind of swept and stopped me out, and and the volume has really started to come in on it now. So fingers crossed, we'll make that out. So this is a crude future, by the way, for those of y'all out there. So we're having fun with oil today.
Yeah, I mean, because of the war, obviously, oil is pretty volatile.
Yeah, oil's had really great volume in there with all that.
Yeah. So for those of you who want to learn with Thor, Thor has a lot of really good educational material. He has, mentorship sessions on Thursday. He does a lot of webinars, and he actually trades live with RP Capital Bootcamp, and people love it. So if you want to get exposure to live trading with Thor for the next bootcamp, just feel free to check out the curriculum of our bootcamp, guys. All right, and by the way, beard looks great on you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Are you being drafted to send to me the list? Is that why you're?
Yeah, I want to. No, actually, so it just looks good with this. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
All right. So
I really think it just goes well with this. I mean,
oh, nice.
boss.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, nice.
I think it just really fits really well with this. So
yeah, that was the necklace that I gave team. I got them from Tibet. So that's the gift.
So look, as soon as I grab it, look at how the price drops on oil. As soon as I put this around my neck, it's like immediate, right back to the open price. It's just spectacular.
Yeah, awesome.
No, so but yeah, no, so yeah, but I am trying, why not, right? Pretty good, can do that. And if I really wanted to blend it in and make look, this really completes the look. Ready, Andrew? Here we go.
Oh, nice. Actually, we stopped that one, but that's very nice.
I could be Carlos right now, like in New York. I could be Carlos right now, like in
okay, yeah. So I'm gonna head out. I know Paris is ready. Cheers, buddy. Thanks.
See you, buddy. All right. What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? It's good to see everybody today. I wanted to show you guys. So, I got this caught up in my earpiece. So this right here is a sweet gift that that I was given by Andrew. The team was actually given these by Andrew. So these have all been blessed by the Dalai Lama. And so we're coming in there. But I thought, combined with the beard energy, you know what I mean? I thought we'd work it out, right? So so great to see everybody today.
Hold on.
And
Guys, get in.
hold on, I still have some audio coming through on Andrew, I think
I think
maybe.
that's Andrew's mic. I mute it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
No, we're all right.
No, we're good.
So yeah, so anyway, welcome everybody. So I wanted to say hello to everybody first off. So kind of getting into the segment now. So kind of as we said with every segment, we're going to kind of structure things in. So hello everybody, welcome to everybody out there in the room. So excited to be seeing you out there in YouTube. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Thor Young. I am the lead futures trader at P Capital as well as in Bearable Traders. I actually started trading equities. I really found I really liked trading market sensitive instruments like SPY and Qs, and I found futures to be a natural transition. So so as we talk about different things, every single segment, I'm going to try and come into the segment highlighting some specific concept. Yesterday, we looked at ICT concepts a little bit on kind of a generic level. We didn't go too deep. Maybe we can go deeper next time. So, but we did bridge that a little bit. So always remember now, if you're ever interested, you can go back and watch the the live show from yesterday. The last third of that segment is going to be this segment, right? So you can always go back and get those little tidbits here and there. Right. So, oh, we just got an alert on oil. That's exciting. So we're pulling back here and we're kind of reoffering oil, but look at the sell. Look at all of our volume right now is coming in when we're selling. So that's a pretty solid sign. Anytime we start to buy, our volume really drops. So it seems like we're lacking some buy desire right now. So fingers crossed that'll stay intact. But I ended up having a decent day yesterday. I had an amazing first 2 weeks. So I'm really not looking to get too fun here today, but this would be, so if I take another loss on this one, I'll probably call this one for the day, and I probably won't try to, any more of these. This should go if this comes all the way back up through high of day again. I mean, especially because I'm hiding here behind ATR. This is the ATR projection right here at the high, right? So this is our, this is really should be about as high as oil goes today. So it would need to go up, break high of day, and sweep the ATR projection. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot on this one. So we'll see what happens. Ooh, Qs are starting to squeeze back to a little bit. So so we're gonna try and we're gonna try and go into a concept basically every session. Right. So the concept we're going to talk about today is actually going to be Bookmap. I'm going to have my buddy Nathan's actually going to come in at in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, like 10 or 11 minutes. He'll come on and we're going to have him on. He actually presents at Bookmap and has the full version of Bookmap, so we can really let him show you the indicators. We can talk about settings, what we're looking at, how Bookmap works. I'll give a little bit of an introduction into what Bookmap is. Right. And we can kind of talk about that a little bit. Right. So I think so for anyone who's a new trader, especially, it'll be good. So ATR projection in DOS can be done, but not quite so simply. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's say we're looking at SPY. Oh my goodness, come on, just load already. All right. So if you're looking at SPY, right, on SPY, you can get the ATR on SPY without too much difficulty. Let me show you. Bros. Hey, everybody, just remember, it's just a me and a chat room. So if I'm answering a question like I am now, and we go like a few minutes without and I haven't responded to you, you may want to, don't be afraid to spam me a little bit with your questions, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So our ATR is 739, right? Hey, BCY, welcome to the channel. So yeah, so I'm a range trader, BCY, so I really don't take a lot of trades. I make good money, but I only do it with like 1 or 2 trades a day. So I'm going to be out here every day. Anytime you have questions, you know, we're here to talk about things. All right. So the place to get the ATR on SPY is actually on this guy right here. And it's the daily chart. So you can actually go into the daily chart and add the ATR category. Let me show you on the study config. Go to your, where is it at? My goodness, it's been a while. I put it on the wrong one. You got to click on the bottom. Study config. There it is. Been a while. ATR period of 14. That's it, right? ATR period of 14, right? Of course, appreciate it, BCY. Come by anytime. Like, I'm hoping that we can build this channel up and get a little bit of following during this 11 to 12 segment. So I was telling everybody I'm going to be bringing some guests in. I'm going to have people on like my buddy Nathan regularly and all of this other stuff. So our ATR here is 14. So you can come down there now that you have set. And if you click down here, see how it says at the bottom, average true range is 641. So now so that gets you basically, you know, it's not as good as the calculated one we get by doing it math-wise, but you can get a pretty good idea. Around 650 is what DOS would be saying you should be looking at. So now what I do is I'll go here and say, well, if we're going to move, you know, about $6.50 on average per day, then I take a rectangle and I'll go from like 8.8, you know, and I'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, my bad. Right. So we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Had to go a little up for that one. Like that, right? And that's more or less what our ATR is going to be, right? Right. So we can go off of 7,350, right? So that's like our ATR. So now what I'll look at is the session low and the session high, right? So if pre-market low ends up being our session low, then our high of day at most would be right here at this R3. Right? If our high of day ends up being pre-market high, then our low of day is going to be about that far down. Floor, you know. So it's not like super like sophisticated, but it works, right? You could do what I used to do is a pink and a purple box. And then since it stays on your chart every day, I would just go grab it off of the previous day and just pull the two over and align one with pre-market high and the other one with pre-market low. And then that would basically give me my ATR projections across, right? So now we have an indicator in TradingView that we use, obviously, and it was coded by BruzzX, who's talking in here right now, right? And answering cam questions ever so diligently. Thank you, sir. But you can see here we have these adaptive ATR limits that actually just calculate it for you and project it. That's what's putting this box here, as well as projecting our ATR. Man, that's a bummer on this one. It was really moving nicely. So, but whatever. I'm going to hang on to it. But if this one doesn't work, one thing you guys are going to see in this channel, we're going to see some winning. We're going to see some losing, right? Yesterday was a very frustrating day. 4 trades yesterday for me, which is a mountain of trades. You know what I mean? Like just an absolute mountain of trades for me to take that many trades to get to my profit. So I was not. So today, 1 or 2, we'll see if it goes. One of the things we have to recognize is we are near, like, you know, we have rolled over. So it was quarterly witching. So there's, you know, the market's always kind of weird this week. So, and we also have like a half day for futures on Thursday, market closed, right? And then on top of that, you know, kind of like not like a really huge news week. Man, I tell you what, there goes SPY, man. We were a really nice call off of S3 on futures today on ES, so that's nice. How long did it take for me to become profitable? Okay, that is an interesting question, and I'm going to answer it in levels, okay? So how long did it take for me to not lose money? I think is the maybe the first thing, right? How how long did it take for me to not lose money, right? Because when you're saying how long did it take for you to become profitable, I think what most people mean is how long did it take for you to not lose money, right? So it took me about 1.5 years to not lose money. Maybe 2 years, 1.5 years to like not lose money, right? Now, to be able to have day trading become my primary source of income, where I was no longer requiring money from any other occupation, right, in order for me to pay my bills and do all of those different things, that took about 4.5 years. So, to where it really got to the point to where I didn't need any side hustle. I didn't need anything else going on, to where the money that I was making from trading, if I removed my bill, my other revenue streams, right? That's, yeah. You know what I mean? But that's a big difference, right? So I think most of us are capable of, let's call it, stopping the bleeding within 1 year or 2. Right. But I think the reason most of you are actually going to, you are going to stop. How do I say this right? You are not going to stop trading because you blow up your account, right? Some of you will blow up your accounts. I hope not. Hopefully you come here. We talk about risk metrics and proper account management and all of these things, and hopefully you'll never will blow up an account. Right. But a few of you will. So, and I hope not, but it is what it is. It's a stat. So, but what we're worried about here is most of you will actually not stop trading because of that. Guess what? I blew up my first account. Did it stop me from trading? Oh, well, obviously not. Right. I'm here. Right. So I in fact blew up. Ooh, that's a nice sell. Yeah, right. We've all done it, right? So it's like, we've all done this, right? We've all been there, right? So, blowing up your account will not stop you from trading. What will stop you from trading is stagnation. Doing the same thing over and over and over again for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, not losing money, but not winning money either. Right. And that's where most traders are actually going to fall out of this. It's not going to be because of the losing. It's going to be because of the lack of winning. Just every single day, like having 2 or 3 green days to have 1 red day, kind of punish it a little bit. Right. And it's not even because of bad risk management. It's mostly probably going to just be over trading. Right. On your winning days, you probably stop after 1 trade, 1 green day. On your losing days, you probably take 3 or 4 trades. Right. So your red days stack up in equality to your winning days, because on your winning days, you stop trading. On your winning days, you keep losing days, you keep trading. Right. So there has to be this fundamental shift, right? If you're only going to take 1 winning trade a day, you need to only take 1 losing trade a day. Wait a minute, only 1 trade a day? Can I really make money only taking 1 or 2 trades a day? Of course you can. Right. A really fun concept I like to think about is in a performance metric is think about stock trading as like golf, right? The winner of this game is whoever can get as close to the hole as possible with the fewest number of strokes, right? That's who's winning, and that's who's winning in stock trading, right? If you are, if you don't, it's not like football, it's not like baseball, right? It's not like soccer. It's not that kind of performance sport, right? It's the most similar to something like golf, right? And that's why it's so hard for so many of us to do this, right? Because I'm sure you grew up like I did. Early bird gets the worm. The more effort you put in, the more result you're going to get out of it. The more you put in, the more you get out, right? This is everything you've ever learned since you were 2 years old. Right. And now you have to do everything that's the opposite, which is basically sit on your hands and don't touch it. You know what I mean? So it's pretty wild. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if Carlos agrees with me, it must be true. So something that must also be true is it is 11:15. And because it is 11:15, that means it is time for me to get squeezed out of my position. No, it means it is time for our guy Nathan to come in and hang out with us, because we wanted to talk about, Nathan, we just had us a market structure shift, my man. I just saw a bunch of selling hit the ES. Do we have any news that is coming out, everyone? Oil rises by over 2%. Everyone's talking about oil issues and Middle East conflict stuff. But look at the market here, everyone. Look on my Nathan's muted right now. Look on my on the market here, how we just started selling, but also look how we lost ask, right? So we pulled top side off. So this is called a MSS, or a market structure shift. So we had a large selling event, but we also lost top side, right? And gained bid. So this is what we will also call a book flip, right? So this is one of the things we're looking for when we're going to start engaging selling, as we look for the book to actually flip into a sell. So that's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen here. So I really hate being short in oil when the market starts to look weak, but I like this position a lot. I like the fact that I'm on the top side of ATR high. So I really think this is good. Nathan, you with me, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, no,
Hey,
NQ.
dude.
That was a really nice one on NQ.
Yeah, you see how clean that looked, man?
Yeah.
So everybody,
Th-
we got our guy Nathan here. So before we get started with him, can we all mark the beginning of his joining the segment with some good thumbs ups and likes and all of that stuff? When we go back there and we look at all of the stuff, you'll see this big spike in activity where everyone got super excited right at 11:15 that we're here. And this is going to be really fun to have Nathan on here. If y'all really like or excited about having him on, I'm going to I'll have him on regularly. You know, I mean, I was hoping to have him on maybe to co-pilot with me once or twice a week, depending on how much y'all enjoy having my guy with us. So, you know, just keep that out there. So I'll give you a quick introduction of Nathan and kind of what he's, you know, what he's going to be talking about. And then I'm actually going to kind of let him talk a little bit and kind of work that on. Imagine that, me not talking. It's crazy. So I've known Nathan for at least a half a decade. How long have I known you, actually? I mean, it's been a while, maybe longer than that.
I guess the first time we really met was that first Vancouver meetup that was like in
Yeah.
December, like 2021.
Yeah. So that sounds right. So 2021 is when Nathan and I met at a Vancouver meetup, and him and I have been basically like, you know, buddies ever since. Really cool guy, super genuine guy, always willing to help other traders out. So naturally, like when I got to work with him, you know, because I actually mentored Nathan for a little while, and I got to work with him. You know, he had done the peak capitals, he had done the Bookmap, everything was there. He just needed like literally 2 seconds of orientation on just the way things work, and then the dude was in it. So, but since then, I've recognized that he's, as far as reading order book structure and like, you know, using tools like Spot Gamma. So he can talk about Bookmap or Spot Gamma, you know, he understands options trading. So, and that really helps me out to have him around because I don't understand that at all. So anyway, without further ado, I will introduce you or bring on my guy, my Nathan here. So, and then Carlos, if you want, you can switch over to Nathan's screen and he can show him what's going on with his settings and all that stuff. And everyone else, say hi to Nathan.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to be here again. So, how many of you out there do use Bookmap? Or are any of you not quite aware of what it is? Let me hold on. Carlos, sorry, I'm going to stop sharing and then actually
Yeah,
just
I was gonna
share
tell you
my
that's
one
probably not the
screen.
screen you want to show. Cool.
Yeah, there it goes.
Good thing you didn't share the fifth screen.
Yeah, that one I can't. That one I only share with you, Thor. Oh, and I got my necklace on too.
Nice,
I saw that
nice.
you grabbed
Yeah.
yours, so I went and
Team
grabbed mine.
BBT. Yeah, let's go. Come on now. Oh, as soon as I touched it, look how oil dropped twice. It did it earlier. As soon as I touched it, it's like it knows.
So for everyone out there who's not familiar with Bookmap, Bookmap is a software that basically, with how I like to think of it, it takes your charts. So you got your chart over here to the left side, and it takes your time and sales, You can see here for futures, we don't get the time and sales like we do, if we bring up a stock. So we bring up a stock like AMD, and then we get those orders that are on the level 2 on there. And then it also takes your time and sales. It puts it all in one area, all on one platform for you. So you can see an order book, the current order book you see you have here on the far right. These are your current orders that are on the book, ready, waiting to be filled. They're limit orders. And then you have your historical orders too. So as this chart moves over to the right, these orders will start becoming the history. And you can see how long these orders have been on the book and how long they've been waiting to be filled. And it's a lot easier to see when they've been pulled, when they come back on. And a lot of times what's great with this, you can see when these orders are moving, liquidity pulled from here, added up here, pulled again from here, added up here and up here. So you can kind of track, what the market makers and institutions and what they're doing and how they're putting their orders. And then get an history of that. Do you want to look back at a price level? If we have a cam in an area and maybe it's hit that cam before and you want to see that interaction, you could just go right back and see we were buying through, maybe hit that cam level and sold off hard. We come back again and get that same kind of price action. It's the kind of stuff you want to see. But it's easier to go back rather than just going back on your chart and trying to look at the candles and the VPA and understanding what may have happened in there. You can get a lot more micro with the price action here and understanding and seeing absorption and other price events. So
Yes, I mean, I think so. So kind of like recap on that. So when you're looking at this, you're getting a DOM, right, which is what is shorthand for depth of market, right? Level 2, order book, all synonyms, right? It's a visual version of that in a heat map. And then you basically have a time and sales that's being applied. So bubbles equal time and sales, right? So you can see how buying and selling and absorption hits the book. But you can also see liquidity and supply areas and how they're shifting. All that combined, you can see it historically, right? And see where it did it before. And now you can see where it's doing it now. So this is one of the reasons, like, I know I've gravitated towards this. So what type of trader would you recommend Bookmap to, Nathan? What do you think, man?
I mean, I would recommend it to any trader. It can
I
be
agree.
overwhelming. I would say it can be overwhelming. It's something that does take some seat time to get used to. For me, tracking prices and orders on the level 2 was just too much. Especially moving down so quickly and they're changing. Having a wider view of the order book and seeing those orders coming in and on just made things so much easier for me. When Thor started using this and bringing it up, I was like, that's my answer. I'm not great at tracking the level 2 and watching and tracking everything going up and down, but this just puts everything right in front of me. And now I can go back and even see the historical data in there. So for me, it changed my trading like quite a
The
bit.
learning tool there, buddy, right, is for sure like being able to, at the end of the day, being able to load in the historical data and go, well, why didn't that, I went long, it was an ABCD pattern, like why didn't it work? And then you look in the book map and all of a sudden you realize you were lacking order structure to the top side.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't along, right? So, and having these little, these little tidbits here to give you an idea of when it could go long or could go short. So I agree with Nathan on that. Any trader, I think, would highly benefit from utilizing this because it's significantly easier when you pick the correct direction, right? And what Bookmap is giving us is it's giving us order structure, right? We have market structure, the direction the algorithms are tiering price. Like right now on NQ right now, you can see the short-term directionality. We actually have a very clean ladder tiering our downside orders right now. And then you have a lack of structure to the top side, right? So that combined with red dots means we're selling on the tape right now. So generically, your directionality on this ticker would be down. Same thing with crude right now, right? We're holding up in this area, but when we buy, we absorb and we can't go up. When we sell, we actually push down into the bids. So why haven't we dropped yet? Well, we're lacking order structure. Right. So we're having a generalized lack. We need a lot of selling. If we do sell, though, we will go from here all the way down to like 71.80, where we're at now, down to 71.80. I mean, so it's going to be pretty wild to see like, you know, how the market responds. And you can see now the SPY is, you know, has been responding to this kind of like high supply area near 60150 it came off of. I mean, so you can kind of see how these things just all stack up together. Once you get used to reading the book, you'll really like it. So so you guys can see Nathan's you know, book map is, you know, really well put together and real clean. So if you guys have any setting questions about his settings, go ahead and load that, and then I'll talk for just a second about how you identify absorption. You know, while you is Bookmap included with Thinkorswim? It is not included with it, but you can get it for very inexpensive. It's like $40 to $50 a month. I forget. I think it's like 39 a month to have it added on. It is not the full version of Bookmap. It's like a leaned version of it. So it has all the features, honestly, that I really need, but it's missing. Thank you, Benjamin. $39.99. So it is missing a lot. So I'll show you the difference. Like when Nathan comes on and he shows you his settings, you'll see but he can also do some things in his, like he can actually hide like you know, certain types of order structures that he doesn't want to see, he can eliminate. It's pretty cool. It's fancy stuff. The toss version limitation is just that. You're just missing some of the features. You can't like trade through the book map on toss. You can't, you know, there's just you can't customize the colors as much, right? So just little stuff like that. So, oh yeah, still real time. All that's still the same. So now identifying absorption. Now, one of the things Nathan mentioned, like he really liked Bookmap because he could see he could kind of read the movement better. He found like reading the tape and stuff very daunting. I'm the same exact way. So I am enamored, and I know you guys last couple of weeks, you know, for like a month or so, have had Paris was on during this segment, and I'll ask him to come back on with me, by the way, as a guest, you know, maybe next week or something. I'm actually going to try and work on getting all the moderators at BBT to kind of come into this segment once every so often, just to hang out and talk with that way the YouTube family, the YouTube BBT family gets, you know, exposed, you know, to everybody behind the paywall as well. So you can really see the value, because I really want to encourage y'all to come into Bearable Traders and actually, you know, work with us. So, but what I found was I kind of lack this this talent that Paris has, which is this ability to read absorption on the tape. I never could do it. It's so fast, right? And you know, Ravi, this is kind of the analogy here that's going to be kind of funny. You know, like those people who are going to become a server at a restaurant, the person who's going to have to use the notepad versus the person who's not going to use the notepad. You know what I mean? To take your order. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a notepad person. You know what I mean? Like I never would have went up to the order and went, "Oh yeah, let me you know what I mean? I'm a notepad person. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like reading the tape maybe is kind of in that world. You know what I mean? Like I can't retain numbers in my head long enough to make sense of like I would have to be able to remember, "Oh yeah, we're at 128, and every time we're at 128, I can see it's like doing something." Like I was just like, oh my God, right? I can't do it. He's so talented, right? He's so talented. Not only does he have the luscious hair, you know what I mean? He's just also super talented. You know what I mean? So I just couldn't do it, right? So that's why I like Bookmap, because like, for instance, right here, this large buy right here was an absorption event. Now, why? Because it was a very large amount of buying volume and it didn't advance the price very far, right? It just went up and it hit this large ask right here. And when that got bought, we immediately stopped and started moving back down, right? So we absorbed right there, right at 72.40 on crude, right? So how do you see absorption? So the best way, you should be able to see me now, Benjamin. So when we're talking about absorption, right, what we're talking about is how the algorithm responds to price, right? So what do I mean by that, right? So, and I'm going to go a little deep on you guys, if you don't mind, okay? So what do I mean by that, right? The algorithm, right, that the market makers or the specialists are carrying right? They carry an inventory. Just like you, imagine thinking about you having bought float in every single position on every single ticker, and you've been holding it for days, weeks, months, years, right? You've just got massive amounts of inventory. You're like an Amazon warehouse, right? You've just got tons and tons of inventory, right? So what happens is when you make a request, right? How does the specialist respond to your request? If you want to buy, they either sell to you from their inventory, right? So they reach back into their inventory and they go, oh, hey, here you go, right? Or they go to the order book, right? They grab it off the shelf and give it to you, right? So how they interact with the requests is everything, right? So if you're in an area of premium, like high of day, and every time a buy order comes in, the price moves sideways, what does that mean? To the room. I'm gonna give that to you. If we're at high of day, near high of day, and you're seeing buying, but the price isn't going up, what does that mean? Right? So we're up here, we're near high of day, right? And as you're looking up here, you're seeing buy dots like this, but every time we buy, the price just goes sideways. What's happening? The specialists are distributing, right? Exactly, Samir, right? The specialists are distributing into what is likely an iceberg or a large seller that's coming in off the book, right? So, but anytime anybody tries to buy, the price doesn't go up. That's because the specialist is going to their inventory and they're giving the inventory to retail. Why would, if the price is going to go up for another dollar or two, why would the specialist offer you price from their inventory rather than holding it and just going to the order book? Right? This is one of the major ways that you can get a really solid clue, right, into what the specialists are thinking, where they're at, and the directionality of where we're going to go, right? If every time we try and buy up, the price stagnates and moves sideways, green dots, no advancement, we're absorbing anytime we're buying. If we're near high of day, these are the kind of things we're looking for reversals, right? For reversals off the downside, the exact opposite, right? If we're near low of day, anytime we see red dots come in, does the price go down? If that answer is no, then that means the market maker is accumulating sells from the market, which is a pretty good indication we're about to go up, right? This is what we utilize volume and price analysis for when it comes down to the chart level, right? We're looking at VPA so that we can try and determine when that, so like now when we look at this here, so I got stopped out here, but why was I willing to get back in? Because when we stopped out, there was good volume and we immediately responded by selling to that premium offer and it came back through the mid-level, right? We didn't create an engulfing, we didn't offer value and hold, we just came right back through. So I went ahead and sold because this is ATR high. We shouldn't go any higher than this. Anytime we've been in this area before, we've sold well, right? And even here, you can see how we waterfalled away. So I know like a lot of people, you'd be very, very scared to hold this position as it comes back up through. But I'm not going to be wrong unless it goes up through my stop here. And I really want to get a nice movement back down, like maybe down through VWAP. You know what I mean? So which should be like around $1,000, you know, if I can get the move down there. So I think right now, if I'm looking at this, because I am obviously in a futures trade here, one stop, you know, and I got back in because I really like this location. So you can see here, for me to hit a solid 4-to-1 ratio, I need to get somewhere down around here, right? Look at that lovely sell. Look at the good volume on that
Nice.
sell. Beautiful. So there we go. So anyway, back to the book of the map, right? So, do any of y'all want, shall I have our man, Nathan go, you guys want to see his settings and have him go through his settings? And then, you know, I will keep my, I'll keep the trade going in the background, and we can do that for, you know, like 10 minutes or so. And then we'll talk about some more market stuff. Woo, look at that sell go.
Yeah, everything's running down now. Except for Meta and Microsoft. They're one to be fun today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tesla.
We are rocking and rolling. Look at this nice drop here.
Now there's a pop on the market. Oil's still headed down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a great spot for this. And for me, the reason I'm focused on oil today is because of the news in the market. You know, obviously, you know, catalyst is very, very important for good price movement. So one of the things I'm, is with just kind of everything that's going on, you know, it's in us being in a pretty solid selling range. I thought it would be a good spot to see if this works out. So see what happens. What do you think about AMD? It looks like a R3 to S3 is happening. Let's check out AMD.
I can bring that up and go through my settings.
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead and get that pulled up. Let me see what I'm seeing here, and then so AMD for me. All right, I ended up not looking. I wanted AMD today, and I love that it was right at ATR high. Like I thought that was great, but I didn't like that it's in a higher, wider range, and it opened under under R3, and it just kind of struggled here and sold. So I think it's a really good R3 short. I just didn't take it because generically, you know, we want this to get a little bit higher, and it just didn't quite go to where I wanted it to go, but it was a great short otherwise. Really lovely VWAP rejection too. So I mean, this is the reason why we like getting short away from VWAP and doing that. So Nathan, let's have Nathan pull up the book and see if he can always plan first. Yeah, it's if I don't have an alert on it, like the reason I'm in you know, I'm in crude right now specifically, right, is because I've got a play on it, right? So I got a call here. I got in it when we went up into my range and broke and made we sold and made a new low. I threw my stop above my zone here for the high because this is the furthest I'm willing to go. Then when I got stopped out, I re-entered because I still felt very good about the overall play, right? And this time I threw my stop above ATR high, right, which gave me a little bit better positioning, but I still felt very good about this R3 short in general. So it re-triggered as it pulled back here. So anyway, let's take a look at AMD, and Nathan, I believe his book is up now, so on the screen.
And
so I'll have Nathan go through AMD and
Daryl R. The difference between global or global plus is with global plus, you're going to get a lot more features and you're going to be able to do a lot more of the add-ons. So in that sense, it's better. I love it because I really like this right here, this market pulse. I love market pulse. I'd love to use it. It's great for putting the settings in and reading absorption, kind of giving you an idea of what's going in more in the micro part of the price action, the things you may not be able to see specifically. And so this was something that you can put on with Global Plus. The Global, it just doesn't have quite as many features. If you go to the Bookmap site, then they will be able to tell you or show you on there what features which one has and what add-ons you can get for each one. But I like the Global Plus. I think it's worth it. And you get a lot more features that are already included, and then you get a lot more add-ons that you can include. But if you're just wanting to try it out, even if you're just wanting to try it out and look at it, they have free versions, just the digital version. I think the digital plus, I don't know if that has a cost, but it's delayed. So the information on there is delayed, but at least you can get a look at it and kind of determine whether or not that it's for you. I think that's a great way to do it. Even with delayed market data, maybe it's too much information because some people don't need it. Not everybody needs Bookmap. Like you don't have to have it. We know number of traders that don't need it. They
I
just
can
don't
tell
need
you
it.
right now with absolute certainty, like because I have a strong lean in volume and price analysis, that if I didn't have Bookmap, I would be fine, right? There are tons of people out there, Livermore, Wyckoff. I mean, this thing, Bookmap's only been around for a decade or so, you know, I mean, and
Mhm.
retail's really only been using it maybe for a few years. So certainly you could do it without it. However, that being said, I really love me some Bookmap because actually it's staying in my positions, you know, being able to see that the order book still looks like, you know, that it could
Mhm.
sell and that I'm not seeing anything weird coming out above me, and, you know, being able to just like, even now, like as we're selling, you know, and crude, being able to say, okay, it's bouncing, but I'm not worried about it because our order structure doesn't look like it's building to the top side. You know, it really helps out, for sure. Does Bookmap have a footprint? I thought I remembered something about them
Yeah,
doing a footprint.
they do have footprints that you can get. I never use it, but I don't even know if I have it, the add-on
I have a really
on
good buddy
here.
of mine, Mark.
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
He's the real Mark Douglas. Please stand up. If guys ever want, I could probably have him on sometime and actually talk about footprint charts to you guys. He's one of the
Yeah, oh
biggest
yeah,
ones I
he
know at
knows, and
reading
he's used
footprints.
them. He's used them for quite a while. So yes, Bookmap does it. I don't know if this is just in the Global Plus version that has the footprint chart available, but yes, they do have it. It is an option for your configure and add-on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's it's also with Bookmap, you can plan out your trade a lot easier too as you're getting down into a level, uh, wanting to see what the book looks like, even to see if like your trade is on the books. You know, if you have a huge void up here to the top side and you've got an S3 down here at 127 and you don't have any orders up here to get higher, but you're filled in really nicely lower, probably not going to be, you know, a good trade. It's just if the orders aren't on there, how are you going to get your trade? Is kind of how to think about it too. And Bookmap just it'll show you the whole book. It's to me like looking at the level two here is like looking at, through the keyhole, through liquidity. Like you can just see a little bit. You're kind of looking, around the keyhole to see what's on the other side of the door. For Bookmap, though, this is like opening the door. You have everything, all the orders you would want to see and look at. You have them all right here. I mean, you can keep scrolling until the orders fade away, but I mean, you can see just how the book is positioned, where the orders are, where the intention of the market is looking to go, and just kind of plan everything out even just ahead of time as you're getting into those levels.
There's
So,
two good
for me,
points in the chat, which I do want to touch on a little bit. And Oscar and Benjamin here, that's a real lived experience for quite a few traders that I've worked with, right? It's certainly, there is the ability in Bookmap, if you take not if you look at it, there are times in which the book can look very, very strong, right? So you're not going to go short because the book looks too strong. So there is some nuance there, and we can certainly work on that a little bit for those of you still using Bookmap. You know, and this is where the absorption really comes in. You know, so in trying to really gauge, like, do we have enough volume to go through those orders or not? And that's where things get a little nuanced. And if you find that you just don't take trades that are perfectly viable trades because now the book just looks too strong, again, you might just use VPA. You know, I mean, volume and price analysis is gonna work every time, because when the order book when we buy or sell off the order book, you know what I mean? We're always, you know, it's these large orders create that volume, right? So, but for, you know, again, like for me, I really feel like the historical value of seeing where I've been seeing consistent orders come in, but can you just use VPOC off of, volume point of control? Or, you know, using some kind of volume by price study to do the same thing? Sure could. You know what I mean? So it really just depends on, how you get to the information. But if you don't feel comfortable with it and it makes you hesitate, then definitely not worth using. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and I'm looking at Benjamin here too. You say, you feel like Bookmap is misleading at times, prevented you from entering good trades. I get that because we get that feedback quite a bit, talking to people that it can be misleading and understanding. And that goes into just applying it more with what your system is and adding it into there. I mean, you can look at VPA. If you use VPA, for your entries and for some of your trading decisions, Bookmap can show you a little more in depth into that and then give you a little bit better idea of direction. And then, look at price. I mean, we're selling right through here very heavily, even though we're getting a little bit of a pullback in here. It's hard to say it's going to last until we start getting a lot of green bubbles and pushing over some of these swing highs and really moving. But right now, I mean, we're still selling. We're still selling even into this move back up. If I were you, if I was short, this would probably give me some conviction to continue to hold. You're looking over at this swing area where we had a little bit of buying. It just kind of pushed price sideways. But if we pop back up over that, we could get some buying and squeeze and hit some stops. But, right now we're still just trying to sell. And, it's easier for me to read on here rather than going back and kind of looking at the candlesticks. But it's adding everything together that you use and then seeing how you can develop that on Bookmap. And it's seat time. It's just seat time and looking at things. If you're getting confused and it's keeping you out of trades, what are you reading on your chart or on the level 2 or on the time and sales? It's, part of your trading. And then does Bookmap help with that? Is it giving you more information? And if it looks conflicting to you, match it up with what you're seeing. Go back and match it up with what you were seeing and look at it in your trades. Take screenshots of Bookmap, take screenshots of your trades, and go back and look at them and see how they lined up and see what price action actually did. Did you have your orders where you wanted them? Did you not have your orders where you wanted them? And just looking at it a little bit more closely. But yeah, it is a lot of information and there's a lot to take in. But once you get some seat time, start using it and building some rules around it from your regular trading, it is very, very helpful.
Yeah, so it's like, and what someone was saying with DOS and SPY, how much depth is there for futures on Bookmap? All the depth. You know what I mean? So I want to keep AMD
Even
up
level
for now,
3.
Nathan. But yeah, it's all there. Yeah, and you can see iceberg orders and all kinds of stuff in futures. Actually, Bookmap gets more data from futures because it's it's more on the book. Futures is a very yeah, exactly, Ravi. Actually, couldn't have said it better myself. It's a very pure market because there's no human specialists involved, right? All the market making is happening by algo. So that's why we like futures so much. Now, I want you to, there was a question about what the Bookmap, like reading it. And let me see here. I think it was Natalia, right? So if you're looking at Nathan's order book right now, his order book looks bearish. Right now, why does it look bearish? The reason it looks bearish is two different items that make it look bearish. To the downside, you can see there are two large institutional orders, one at 127 and one at 126. If you look to the top side, the closest strong institutional order is all the way back at 130. So price generically moves to size on the book, and the closest size is currently at 127. Right now, the next thing we got to look at is actual what we call our short-term retail or ladder structure. Right. So right now, the reason we're not selling down to 127 is there's actually a lack of order structure to get back to 127. Right. So there's a void there. The algorithm's not tiering. So what we're waiting for is to see orders go into that void, and then we'll know it's going to start selling towards 127. Right. But notice the order tiering between 127 and 126. Very good structure. Right. So if we move to 127, it's very reasonable to think we will continue on and move to 126. Right. So this is why we give it a bearish assignment as far as its order structure. And then you'll also notice the green dots, which is our tape. Right. Anytime we move up or down, you're seeing lots of green dots or red dots. I mean, sorry. Right. So we're generically selling easier than we're buying. Right. So we're generically going to be looking. Now, notice we actually just tiered in some order structure up to 129 there. You can actually see we got a little bit better to the top side.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of the things we can look for. And so the concept here, what we call this is market structure shifting, right? So as the algorithm changes its mind, because it does, you will see shifts in the order book up and down. And this is where some of our other people say the order book got them really confused and they really just didn't like it anymore. And it's because the algorithm changes its mind all the time. Yeah, this is AMD. The algorithm changes its mind all the time, right? It's responding to requests. If we start getting lots of buying coming in, the algorithm's going to start tiering orders to the top side to encourage upward movement, right? So, but right now we're seeing an imbalance of selling to buying. So like Nathan said at the beginning, this just looks like it's probably more of a pullback before heading back to 127, because as we've moved up, our major volume is on the sell side. And when we lifted on very light buying. Right. So it kind of just looks like more of like a, like what will eventually be like an inverse ABCD. Like, we'll pull back, or this would actually, in this instance, we'd be talking about like a cup and handle or something like that. Right. We're going to drop, we're going to pull back up, and then we'll inversely move back down, right, towards 127. Right.
Yeah, and you can see that diverting volume we're getting right now, just on how small these bubbles are compared to some of the previous. We can see that even just on this diversion, how much we're struggling to go back up. You can see it right here. And now you can even see it just with any little bit of buying. It's not very much. So we need to get some big green dots and then push up.
So on my crude position, I went ahead and moved at this point, we trended enough away and got under the open that this really should not come back up into this range that we've lost. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stop up here. If we really rally and go through, I'll take off, and that'll give me enough to cover at least my entry on this one. And then if it squeezes back up, maybe I give it another try and hit this area again. One thing I don't like is allowing, anytime it's moved in a good direction, I don't like it retracing more than like 50% of the way back up. I'll just go ahead and get out of it at this point. I just want to capture some of the profit off of it. And then, we'll, again, if it reoffers R3, then I can just hit it again, risking some of that profit. But, I actually tend, as a range trader, I tend to get in a bad habit of over holding my positions, even once they've obviously lost trend, and just letting them come all the way back up and stop me out. So it's a fine balance to run here, but especially with how good the volume looked coming into this, I'm going to look for a response at this, this EMA. If it spawns and sells here, it should be good. If we buy off of here, like I said, I'll get out of it, let it come back up into here, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, and Solomon, which Bookmap data packages do you recommend for stocks, options, and futures? So they don't have options information. Stocks, you'll need DX feed. And then for futures, I would say the best one's going to be Bookmap data to get. It's the cheaper option, and it's even cheaper just to get all the exchanges rather than going with Rhythmic. But Rhythmic is
Real
great
quick,
too.
Nathan, look at AMD. Look at how a bid just
Yeah.
came in at 127.50. See the size come in at 127 there, everybody, on Nathan's. If we can flip back over to Nathan's Bookmap there. It'd be cool if I could do that. We'll try and get, there we go. See how a large order just came in at 127.50 right underneath, and then the price immediately moved down into it with selling. So that's what I mean by price moves to size, right? They brought that order in right there. And then, so I can see Nathan's screen even when it's not being shared. So, and I have it on my right side monitor. So I was actually watching. So you could actually see as we were pushing up that weak volume we were talking about, then you saw them bring in the bid and then move the price into that bid like that, right? It's pretty interesting once you start seeing that kind of stuff. This is what we call the matrix. You know what I mean? You start really being able to read and see the shift. So
and tracking well with our
ARCA?
VPA there too.
Do you have ARCA on there?
I believe DX feed has ARCA and NASDAQ. There's I can't remember. There's another one that you can add.
All right, I'm out of
and
crude.
I did add it for a while, but it didn't bring any more information. So I just kind of got rid of it.
Boom. Look at that. Look at the response. So I love this average that I like to trail. It's an institutional average that I know a buddy of mine at Citadel uses. It's a 27 length. It's like an offset EMA, but look what happened when we cracked the high after that. Look at the volume that came through on this thing. It's such a good algo level. It works just great. But look at how the buying comes in as soon as wow. Well, that's a lot of buying. Good grief.
Yeah, now we're popping up a little bit.
Man, that stinks.
Even though we've turned down, we've turned down on the
done spending money today, so
on the market.
Market's kind of rolling over a little bit here, actually, though.
Yeah, no, it did. It pulled up, kind of hit that swing high on ES, missed it on NQ, and now we're really just starting to roll. But AMD is now going against the market. It was kind of holding, and
Silly
it's getting
AMD.
to be a little bipolar at the moment.
So we're right on VWAP for SPY, and that's going to be a big problem, right? So really hard. So I am mesmerized at Andrew's ability to play VWAP as well as he does. I like playing towards VWAP. I always have trouble playing off of it, but I watch him grab these longs off of VWAP all the time, and they're just beautiful. The problem is for me is VWAP is an anchor, right? So this is the average price weighted by volume, VWAP, right? And so you notice here how VWAP is just flat. Even when we go up, it just stays flat, right? So this would insinuate that we're basically having a horribly choppy day, right? We're like just like not going anywhere. So yeah. So you know, right now for me, the only trades I would feel comfortable taking would be trades that were extended away from VWAP, like getting long. Like this is a higher range. So for me, I wouldn't trade SPY at all. Like SPY just looks horrible, right? So Qs is in a little bit more of an interesting position. So Qs is actually, so I like Qs a little bit more because we're right under monthly R3. So this is a very large institutional selling level, right at monthly R3. So I do like the idea of maybe shorting Qs, and our ATR low is still way down by 2 days ago's close, right? So if we went short here on Qs, it would be one heck of a move into the close. But so far, I haven't seen the volume yet. I mean, we sold from here, right? But I don't know if I've seen the volume yet to insinuate today is going to be a sell day. But it is a narrow range. So today does have the right structural configuration to become a breakdown, basically. I don't really see it as being a break up. Why? Our ATR high is really close to R4. Right. So if it's a narrow range, I expect to close outside the range, not inside the range. And I don't see us going into a rally from here that gets us out there by the end of the day. I definitely see us going into a sell that gets us to here by the end of the day. I definitely think that could happen. So for me, I would feel more comfortable leaning towards this being a sell conceptually than a long, which is why I basically have bailed on these, because we're more or less in a buying range on the intradaily while being in a selling range on the monthly. Right. And that's a recipe for chop. Right. So that's one of the reasons I was kind of focusing more on like looking at crude, because crude's offering this nice R3 short over and over again. You know what I mean? So, and you know, and maybe we could do that because at least that's like a play that really like fits everything. So, all right, everybody, it is coming to be the end of our hour. For anyone, you know, if you want to have our guy Nathan back on the regular, please make sure you're liking and sharing and putting lots of comments in there. Make sure you say, "We love you, Nathan. You're the best." Tomorrow's Wednesday, so don't forget it's psychology in BBT tomorrow. So make sure you come by and check it out. I hope everyone has a great rest of your trading day. Much love. Keep it green. Thanks for coming, Nathan.
It's fun being here, guys. Thanks for having me, Thor. I'll see you all later. Have a good one.